I look and see it's not just me.
Jack, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV?
I look and see it's not just me.
This place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown. I quit.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild.
No. It doesn't make logical sense, but it makes.
Well, yes, of course.
But it makes wrestling booking sense. Of course, this makes no sense. Of course, okay, it makes no sense. However, in pro wrestling booking, which often makes no sense, you would do that. It's about making money. It's not about anything else. Wrestling's always been about making money first and foremost. That's it.
Yes, I look and see it's not just me.
Last weekend was the greatest weekend in AEW history. This is the greatest week.
I look and see it's not just me.
Security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Wild. Yeah.
If you're familiar with how we do things often here on these Wednesdays, it's a lot like one of my favorite movies, Time Cop.
What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Damn it, God.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's happening, guys? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT Live Show. Yeah. I am your infallible host, Phil Marks. Joining me here last minute out of the blue, Chris Connor from Last Call Podcast. Thank you for being here, my good friend. Round of applause for you.
Thank you, Phil. And you know what? I was thinking about you today. I was watching the clips of the USA versus France, Team USA basketball, and USA when they won the gold medal.
Yeah.
Your boy Joel Embiid, as France is booing him as he gets the gold medal, he channels his inner Phil Marks, races the gold, turns around to the French crowd and does the DX suck it chant right.
Let's go.
All I could think of was, yep, Phil Marks would approve.
Absolutely, dude. I was a little degenerate for sure when I was in the Attitude Era there. Absolutely, that was my faction, that was my crew. But guys, how you doing? Thanks for being here, PWT Universe. Yeah, it's so awesome. It's been since Wednesday. Round of applause for you guys. Thanks for checking in. And man, 58 of you watching, likes are at 21. We can boost those up tonight. I'm sure more will file in. As people file in, I'll do the housekeeping. I'll do my plugs. I'll do what I got to do. So, of course, Chris Connor, you can check him out. Last Call Podcast. I'm frequently on there. And he's frequently over here, man. And I am at prowrestletimes on YouTube. That's the secondary channel. You guys, like, well over 1,100 subscribers on that. Thank you so much. And then we broke 4,100 subscribers on the Pro Wrestle Clips channel. So thank you all so much for that, too. The clips have been blowing up, and I really appreciate all of that. I hope you all are still enjoying the new intro. If you didn't see it this past, I think Wednesday I debuted it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I really enjoy it a lot. And yeah, what else do I got going on, man? So the Discord, get down there. That's a good way to just hang out in the community. And, we got everything. We got like a section for gaming, MMA, if you're into that stuff, like myself and Chris Connor, pro wrestling, just podcast discussion. We got like Thirst Trap. We got a section for like if you want to thirst over wrestling ladies or men, there's room for that for everyone. So get in the Discord. The link's down below. And what else? At Pro Wrestle Times everywhere on socials. I'm back more active on X, and I went through and responded to like a myriad of DMs, like even people who may have just like, some listeners who may have just DM'd me that I'm just like, oh, I haven't got around to reading this. So I came back full force. I came in with a head of steam, and I was like, fuck it, man. Oh, I'm already swearing with 5 minutes deep. Nobody gonna break on my stride, and we're just gonna keep it going. So I appreciate everybody here. If it's your first time listening, welcome. There's no turning back now. And if you've been with us since the start, nobody do it like us. So we have a super chat here. Denisha, thank you so much. Hey, Phil and PWT fam. Hit that like button. Yes, please.
Acknowledge me.
Hit that like button. What else do I got here? So, guys, if you remember on the show I did a couple shows ago, whatever, I'm sure you listened to them all. So I covered Devon Dudley, Barry, and Will Washington, and he was on Duke Loves Wrestling podcast. And Duke is good friends with Marie Shadows, and Marie Shadows was recently on the show as well. And Duke's coming on the pod. I think we're linking up tomorrow, so that should be out Monday for you guys. Time cop. And he really was in the center of some. Well, I don't know if he was the center of it, but definitely there's a lot of controversy going on with soft ground wrestling, Uganda, and Fightful and SRS. A lot of these people went at a lot of people, and Duke's gonna come talk PWT exclusive. But we're the first people he's talking to. I'm going to be the first person he airs that stuff sort of out to. And if you guys don't know, we'll talk about it a little bit tonight, but I'm going to dive in deep tomorrow with Duke. And actually speak of the devil, joining us now as well. Marie Shadows is here. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Marie. And you can find Marie over at Squared Circle Podcast. Marie, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
Good. I was just talking about you and Duke, actually, and how he's coming on the show tomorrow. And, we're going to talk about the soft ground wrestling Uganda sort of controversy, if you will. I don't know if it is sort of controversial and all of that. And, he's going to dive in deep. Duke's going to dive in with me. So I'm looking very much forward to that because, I've sort of covered soft ground on the show for a while. I play clips from it as everyone has. I just react to it and just put it over because it's a fun time. Yeah, it looks great. But then there's some people saying, oh, this guy was hosting like a charity scam or not a charity scam, but I guess like a donation scam. And then there's other people saying like, no, he's actually a good guy. And it's just these other, I don't know. There's tons to get into about it. And there's this story and it's crazy. And Duke wants to come talk about it because he was saying, SRS owes everyone an apology and things of that nature. And so, I can't wait to dive in all that. But tonight, folks, as everyone files in, I hope you're hitting that like button too. We are going to dive into some other stuff. And I want to talk about SmackDown to kick things off. And tonight, guys, what are we watching? Phil's always watching something. So before we hopped on the air, Chris Connor told me there's boxing on tonight. There's also a UFC Apex card that I'm like, blah, it's very not intriguing. And then I'll probably throw Collision on. I don't know. You can tell how excited I sound about that. But yeah, Marie, what do you got going on?
Nothing. I really don't. I'm relaxing after I went live and then I had dinner. I might just cool down with playing some games on my Xbox for the time being. But yeah, I don't really have much. And by the way, I'm kind of rude. Hi, Chris. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Marie. How are you holding up?
I'm holding up. I'm surviving. But I just wanted to say that you did an episode with Duke, right?
I've had a pleasure of having Duke on the show. Yes.
Well, hello, mutual friend. How you doing?
I'm doing well, and yes. So he has spoken of you, and yes, congratulations on with the whole soft underground wrestling. What you guys doing is great, and just getting to the bottom of a lot of stuff because unfortunately, too much of what we hear is just always half truths, partial truths. What's going on?
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Next thing you know, it's like 6 degrees of separation. What's going on? And everybody's like repeating third-hand knowledge, and it's just chaos sometimes in pro wrestling.
Yeah, it is.
Well, speaking of which, and I don't know if this is a good transition or not. I never do. But Chris Connor, you and I were debating heavily about, Jacob Fatu, like publicly, like we were on X there sort of going back and forth about his injury, and he was spotted wearing a boot and et cetera, et cetera. And so I wanted to pull this up and I wanted to talk about SmackDown. Don't waste your time with Collision, bruv. You ain't hype with a. I'll give you a bruv for $2. Thank you. You ain't hype, dude. I might just throw it on as background noise, but yeah, I'm not. I have the card. Well, let's not waste any time here, okay? Without further ado, it is time for. Phil Marks bookmarks, ladies and gentlemen. So.
Woo!
Yeah, this Collision card here. Let me just peep it. It's there's House of Black, there's a guest referee, and then the Bang Bang Gang are in a number one contenders match, and Christian's the guest ref. I don't know. I swear, like Tony Khan just saw Seth Rollins as a guest ref and was like, "Oh, I could do that too." And then we have Swerve Strickland in an open challenge eliminator match. 2 weeks before All In. What the fuck are you doing? What is this? And we'll get into it. Even I have it bookmarked. Some of the sickos have even been like, nope, this is ass. AIR Gold's like doesn't know whether to wipe his ass or wind his watch, as Stone Cold would say. What? He's just he's or maybe Jim Cornette, I'm not sure, but he's even calling the shit out. Everyone's calling it out. And then we have Darby Allin and Hologram, who took on the Premier Athletes. I dropped a clip today about it was very lucha wrestling focused with a bunch of topics, Hologram being one of them. Check that out, guys, if you haven't yet. Thunder Rosa versus Deonna Purrazzo in a Texas bull rope match. Okay, is this the first one in women's history? This couldn't have been built up to. This couldn't have been on a pay-per-view.
I do want to mention that Gail Kim actually had tweeted out saying that her match with Jackie Moore in TNA was a bull rope match as well. So it's not the first one. It's the first one for AEW, but not the first one in history.
Okay, here. Sorry, guys. I'll remove. Thank you. You ain't hype. I'll remove that from the screen. And then, Phil, you what?
You what?
Yeah, dude. Thank you, Merge, for the $2. And yeah, you're right. I should have had that one handy there for that. And that's exactly it.
God, I feel so bad for Deonna Purrazzo. I mean, is there?
Yeah, dude. I was just gonna say this match should have been built up to. Purrazzo's been fucking stomped on as far as she came in, had tremendous. People were talking about it. It seemed like they could have built to something. Thunder Rosa was so over at one time. Of course, injuries and backstage politics. But you have that, and then you have an open title eliminator 2 weeks out, and it's just why didn't they build up to Rosa and Purrazzo on the fucking pay-per-view with this?
Oh, because you know why?
Yeah.
Because as soon as Mercedes Moné was announced to come in, it was ooh, new toy. And there went Mercedes Moné, and there went Deonna Purrazzo to the old toy bucket list, and there's the new toy, Mercedes Moné. I mean, that's what Tony does. He finds a new toy, he plays with it, he gets all excited, and here's Camille, a new toy, and he's playing with that and his new toy Mercedes, and Deonna's now old news, where he's oh, I got bored of that toy. I don't care about this toy anymore.
It's such bad booking. It's very disappointing. FTR versus Outrunners. I'm actually down with that. I'm actually okay with that. I like that. Two throwbacks, but even I know the Outrunners get goofy with some of their stuff, but I don't know. I enjoy those guys. Rush versus Preston Vance. Now, see, this is how like I know they have little like they drop like little Twitter snippets, little vignettes on Twitter of what's been going on with La Faction Ingobernable. I believe that's their faction, LFI, if I'm not mistaken. But Roosh and Preston Vance, I thought they were like in a faction together, so they're fighting. Okay, don't know what's up with that. Hikaru Shida, shout her out, but where's she been? Ring of Honor, you know? Sorry, go ahead, Marie.
You mean LIJ?
LIJ, yeah. Sorry. What did I say?
You basically said like you included the word faction in it, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not like the one over at New Japan. It's LIJ. It's Los.
Sorry. Yeah, see, I'm a New Japan mark. That's the problem. That's the problem with me. So yeah.
Did they create a faction in AEW where it's like Los Factiones Dead? Like I don't know. Did they do that?
I don't know. I just botched big time. But yeah, that's why you're here, because you can get down and you know. But yeah, so that I don't know. I don't have a lot of interest. I'll probably throw it on for background noise. But over here I have sorry, I actually don't have it pulled up because I'm botching all over the place. Here we go. Bleacher Report, our good friends. Well, not really our good friends, but it's who we go to do these reviews because they're owned by WBD, I believe, which aren't doing so well. SmackDown. Were you guys both able to watch SmackDown?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so another great edition of SmackDown. I saw some people online saying like the matches were boring and the show was boring, and to each their own. I don't know. I really enjoyed it, and I tweeted something out at prowrestletimes on X. I had posted something about where is it? Sorry, guys. I said that like, okay, these stopwatch marks, right? Because people time the wrestling on the shows. And I'm like, okay, the funniest thing about the stopwatch marks is that they don't actually give a shit about like the wrestling or the wrestlers. Like they don't care about because okay, the wrestlers put so much time into these promos, these characters to make these stories that has the business booming. That's such a huge aspect of what they do. And like to diminish that is diminishing them as well. Like they don't want to go out there and do 700 backflips and break their fucking necks every week either. You know, like that. Yeah. So I don't know. I can't find my tweet. I botched again, but botchcast. But yeah, that's more or less what I said. And this show is very much like story focused, but there was some great wrestling in it too. And yeah, well, I just want to go over it quick. Like we had A-Town Down versus the Street Profits. So we've seen A-Town Down bounce around, and we're starting to see the tag division really get fleshed out here. Rumors are the Lucha Bros are coming in. Rumors are Motor City Machine Guns are coming in. So we got a lot to look forward to in the tag divisions for WWE, and they're really doing a good job of just highlighting the history and like really showing us, you know, there's multiple tag teams. Now, Tonga Loa did the funniest thing where he like held the belt up fucked up, and everyone's getting mad about it on X. He's been like a series of botches since he's come in, but I ain't shitting on him. I almost feel like he's trolling at this point. If we're gonna get conspiratorial about it, I'll play an X-Files, but the truth is out there. But yeah, like either way, I think I was right about the Jacob Fatu handing the belt because now with the whole kayfabe Fatu knee injury, which we'll get into in a minute, Chris Connor. I know you want to jump all over me for that, but I said this was a way where he could just give the belt over to God, like Freebird style, and they can just say he's the tag champ. Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga, that is GOD's Gorillas of Destiny, for those who don't know. And then Jacob he can just like pass the belt along because for whatever reason Tonga Loa has not been able to wrestle, but he's been able to be physical. So I don't know what that is. That's why they fake gouged his eye, etc. Right? So basically the highlight of this show to me was tag team focused stuff and then the bloodline stuff, obviously. This first match was whatever. We had Jade and Naomi and Bianca reunite, and I don't know. How did you guys feel about that? Like, what do you guys feel about what I'm saying about just the tag teams being focused on Street Profits get a big win. We have the big three reunite. We have Blair Davenport joining the Unholy Union, which someone in the PWT universe actually suggested, which there you go, ended up happening. WWE listening confirmed. But yeah, Marie, what are your thoughts on just basically the tag team, both divisions here on SmackDown?
I mean, it's fun to watch and go along with the journey. I do think that Loa is trolling. He never really got the chance to really troll back at people that say some stupid ass shit. But other than that, like, it's fine to have the Freebirds rule. Like, I'm all for that. The tag team matches were good. I don't know why my brain wants to be like DIY won against Pretty Deadly, which I was like, I want
I wanted Pretty Deadly to win big time, but I mean DIY got to stay strong, so yes.
Yeah, they do. And the Street Profits, they went after Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, right?
Yes, they got a W over them, right?
Yeah, that's always fun to watch. I'm still waiting for like the implosion of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. But congrats to the Street Profits. Jade having like a singles match in a very long time on SmackDown was really good because she's really honing her skills. So it's good for her. I like I like what they're doing. I don't really have too much negative stuff just because I know that like the journey, it's what's fun. The story and getting me invested into like this kind of stuff is fun. Even though I do agree that like the tag team divisions have not been like at 100% like not really standard, but like up to par. I get it, but not everything can make it onto a live show.
Yeah. And so, Chris, you and I were arguing on X in private about the Tonga Twins possibly coming into WWE. And, you had pointed out to me that one of them had said in an interview or on X on socials, they said, like, the only way we'll go to AEW is if like,
let's put a cork in first the Tonga Twins because they're just... I mean, they're so raw. They're not even on the radar. Let me first get to SmackDown because.
Well, I was just going to ask you the women's tag division here. Like we see it shaping up more, and that was sort of my argument.
It's awful. I mean,
to you is like
it's awful. I mean, and look, it's it's an awful division. And look, the talent's great. I love the talent SmackDown has. It's just sort of like. You're trying right now. The slow burn is basically Jade versus Bianca, and they're trying not to rush it because that's basically that's the big play. Eventually, it's going to be who turns on who.
Yeah,
but they don't want to burn that. Look, I don't think the tag team is just basically dead. Nobody really cares about it. The Triple H hasn't cared about it because they haven't defended it. I mean, this is now been since WrestleMania, they haven't defended the PLE. There hasn't been a tag title defense at any of the PLEs. I mean, SummerSlam wasn't defended. Backlash wasn't defended.
Right.
It was only defended.
Well, they won them in at the Clash there. So
yes,
I'm just saying
it was basically because it was like, let's get all the Scots in there. So it was like, hey, let's get all our Scottish women on the card. That was it. I mean, outside of that, I mean, the men's haven't been defended. When has Judgment Day defended their tag titles on any of the PLEs? Like, they haven't. Like, when has DIY defended any of their titles or A-Town? They haven't. They don't.
Yeah, but they're usually reserved for like the big match for the go home show, which like Gunther did that for a while too. Now look at him. People were saying the same thing about the IC title. Oh, another PLE.
The IC titles were always defended on PLEs though. I mean, that was a big thing. Like the tag titles, they don't care. There's always been like,
Here, I got some super chats flying in here. I got to get LC Killer 17 for $5 says, I want to say graduation to AEW. They made Taco Bell is more over than Jack Perry.
Hey.
Yeah, dude. We're going to get into that. So I'm going to play that for you in a bit. So stick around, LC Killer, and we're going to give our thoughts on that. I'm actually going to play the clip. I think I'm going to do it in a way where we won't get Don Stevens. And yeah, dude, you guys see it in the thumbnail, right? I can't not talk about it. Yo Quiero Taco Bell. We were laughing about it. It's one of the biggest botches ever. Thank you so much for that. Scully Vibes, hashtag DIY side plates. Yeah, I don't know, dude.
Speaking of over,
is that what was still on the belts? DIY side plates? Is that what you're referring to, Scully Vibes? Let me know for that. And then You Ain't Hype for $5 says, honestly think Fatu's injury is kayfabe. We're about to get into that too. You Ain't Hype. So thank you for the $5. Everyone hold your goddamn horses right now. As far as these topics, trust me, we're going to get into all this stuff. But yes, I agree with you. It is kayfabe. We're going to talk about it. We're going to dive in deep and break it down. They don't want him and Roman to meet face-to-face yet. They can't have them meet face-to-face yet. And that's what we're going to end this segment with. So thank you so much. I'm going to give you all some annoying-ass air horns and a Conan for Tony Khan, because we know that we're all here. We'd rather talk about this kayfabe injury than whatever the fuck's going on Collision. So, anyways, my whole thing is this, Chris Connor. The Tonga, they need more goddamn, unless they just get rid of these belts, we need to see more teams fleshed out. Exactly as you said, the slow burn. Eventually, Jade and Bianca are going to split up. I could see us getting iterations of Naomi and Bianca, or Naomi and Jade, whatever. But ultimately, they need more tag teams. And
but we're going to put them. Like, I'll say bring the Tonga twins in there. Where are you going to put these people? You already have, like, way too many people on SmackDown.
In NXT. They're already at
okay, but you already have more people on NXT. You have 240 people on this roster. There's not much room. It's not like you can, like, add more people and, like, get rid of people. It's overflow.
But yeah, you can, man, because people leave. Like fucking Lashley's a free agent as of today, you know? Like,
so you're leaving, Lashley's gone, but you still have, like, Charlotte Flair is coming back. You're adding on, Lucha Bros, they're coming back. Oh, by the way, Alexis Bliss is coming back. So you're losing one, but you're adding four. There's too many friggin' people.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? And the Tonga twins would just be in NXT.
They're not good. They are not good. I've seen
They'll
them.
get
They're not good.
Yeah.
So time.
Yeah, but the problem, Chris, is that you're saying right now. We're not saying right now they'll be teleported main roster this Monday. We're saying give them fucking 6 months to a year.
Oh,
they already have a foundation. Lexus King wasn't good either. Now look at him. He's decent. He's good. He's growing. He's getting good.
Was more ahead than they are. Yeah.
Lexus King was good, man. What you talking about?
Well, listen. No. Hold on. In AEW, he wasn't like fucking. He's not blowing anybody away, and in NXT, he's not blowing anybody away either. His character work is what's getting him more over than anything, and his willingness to go do stuff in, like, he's doing good work in, like, Reality of Wrestling, but there's a reason he's there doing extra work and not just in NXT, guys. Like, there's a reason for that, he's got, so I'm not shitting on him at all. Like, no one's put him over more than me. But what I'm trying to tell you is in 6 months, the Tonga twins, in a year, in 9 months, they couldn't be ready to have a tag team title run with, like, and then Ava Raine could manage them when she eventually goes up because she's the Rock's daughter. Or in NXT. Whatever. I don't know.
Have you seen the Tonga twins? Have you ever seen, like, a match?
Yes, bro. Yes. I see them getting in great shape right now too. That's what people do before they go to WWE as well. They start yada up, and I feel like
you've seen, like, one picture of them going, "Oh yeah, we're here."
No, that's not it. They've been. No. It's not one picture. There's been multiple times, and then where, like, they've been at the PC. They were at the PC, and then someone in the chat actually pointed out to me how they were, like, actually in the background during a fucking segment during NXT or something. Like, they were sitting in the, like, a common area, like, just chilling as background characters as well. So it's not just like I'm talking out of my ass. And then they have videos of them getting, like, they're working out more and shit. Hikuleo, where's he? Well, he's getting in great shape. Where did Tonga go before he debuted? Look at what Jacob did. He was getting in great shape.
Oh, don't compare Hikuleo to a Tonga.
No, I am. No, I'm not comparing Hikuleo. I'm comparing the fact that Hikuleo's, where is he right now? He's getting in that WWE shape, bro. Where did Jacob go?
was a New Japan champion who
where did Jacob
already been
go?
signed.
Where did Jacob go? No. I'm not comparing accolades stop, because you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not comparing accolades or like stature in like skill or anything like that. What I'm comparing is when you go to WWE, you get fucking bodied up and then you sort of disappear for a bit. And typically you get spotted around the PC. That's what has been happening with the Tonga Twins. They left WoW out of nowhere. They sort of little off the map, all of a sudden they're popping up around the PC. Now we're seeing videos of them training hard and shit. All I'm fucking saying is that what did Jacob Fatu do? He's in the greatest shape of his life right now because he went away right before they brought him in. He went and got fucking on that AJ Styles diet.
That's the opposite, though. They had announced they had signed Jacob Fatu and then, yes, by the way, same with Ukulele. They have not announced that they have signed the Tonga Twins.
I know, that's why I never said they're signed. I'm just saying, though, if you think it's on the table, like, why wouldn't you?
Because I don't think
they
it's
never
on the
announced
table.
they signed Ethan fucking Page either, but he still showed up. So it's
Ethan Page showed up, like literally almost like his contract ended, then the next day he's there. It's like there's a huge difference between these people.
Right.
I'm telling you, the Tonga Twins, there have been rumors of like they were bullies, they had backstage issues. Yeah. They don't fit the mold of what what WWE is looking for. Like,
my God, that's what people said about Punk, bro, and also the Tonga.
Punk, there's a huge difference of Punk makes money. We're not going into this. Punk was a guy who you looked at and went, okay, well, Punk makes money, so let's take a risk on a guy who can make the money. The Tonga Twins are like, well, two people who have no track record, who basically maybe shot their way out of WoW, who, you're not sure if they can do anything. Yeah, let's take a risk on this. No, I'm sorry.
There's no risk. There's no risk.
Yes, there is a risk.
Train them at the PC. It's just train them at the PC.
Oh, God.
That's the risk. Train them at the PC.
You're basically going, well, they're Tongans. So, therefore,
no. You're saying that like, you think I think that I'm saying, like, bring them in on $1 million.
No, there's all these people who are like, oh, they're Tongans.
Hold on,
therefore, they're part of the bloodline. So, let's bring them in here. I'm telling you guys right now,
you're saying, though, you're acting like I'm saying bring them in on $1 million contracts. And
no, I'm just telling you.
It's like, no, that's right not what I'm saying.
If you are WWE, you are signing people because right now everybody you bring in, it's a spot. You basically have limited spots here.
But you need women's tag teams. Why the fuck do they still?
Because you have enough people. This is how they do a women's tag team. Well, you and you, we're gonna throw you together. There, you're a tag team.
Yeah, but that's literally what you do. That doesn't last.
How so? That's what they did.
Because that's why it's the fucking divisions in the state it's in.
I know. That's how they got there. The current women's.
So how do you get out of there? You either absolve them or
so that's what you do. You absolve them. That's what they literally do. They could basically go, well, you know what? We're just gonna get rid of these tag teams. Okay. That's all they're going to do with this.
I think they are purposefully forming more and more women's factions because they are going to start distinctly showcasing distinct women's tag teams like Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Unholy Union, like the Tonga Twins. They want women who are come in as tag teams the way the fucking Hardy Boys came in. I think they're going to focus on that and lean into the fact they have women's tag divisions and women's wrestling with the influx of women talent there are. And I don't think they're going to lean away from that and just absolve these belts and go, fuck it, we'll just throw these two bitches together. Ha ha, pal. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're leaning into the tag teams, and I think signing the Tonga Twins to a developmental contract would be a fucking brilliant move because they're prospects. They're not. Sorry, Marie, what are your thoughts? We're just yelling at each other. What do you think?
It's fine. You guys keep doing that. I just want to add one thing because I'm not getting into this. Yesterday, Triple H had tweeted out that they have now created a WWE Speed Women's Championship title.
Boom.
So there's going to be a tournament, maybe a tournament for that. I don't know what Triple H really wants to do, but he announced that yesterday.
Yeah, it's a speed tournament. It's a speed tournament. Yeah.
So basically, we're going to crown a new women's champion to represent WWE Speed for all of Twitter/X. Because
and they brought in the Women's North American Championship on NXT. I see them expanding and leaning into the fact, no, we need more tag teams. How do you expand women's tag team wrestling? You don't just throw women together. I've been saying it for a fucking year and a half on this pod. You need real girls to come in that are like the Bella twins. I want fucking the Rockers, but they're girls. You know, I want to see a tag team come in that are like the Dudley Boys, but they're chicks, you know? And I'm not saying like steal the gimmick, but I'm saying just like a tag team. Like there's no real women's tag teams. In TNA, they had a handful of them.
Let me ask you this question. Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Where are you fitting all these people? I mean, because we all have these great ideas, but then you look and it's like you have 3 hours of Raw, you have 2 hours of SmackDown. You're trying to fit in.
You have NXT.
By the way,
you have NXT Level Up,
right,
and then
forget Level Up because nobody really cares about that. I'm talking about
but it's not that nobody cares about it. It doesn't matter that nobody cares about it because they're getting reps in. So like we clown Collision.
Please let me finish.
Okay, sorry.
So you have 3 hours of, as I said, Raw. You have SmackDown, and then you have NXT, and each of them are separate. You're trying to cram in all these people, and you're barely having enough time because you have to reserve X amount of time for your main acts, your Cody Rhodes, your Roman Reigns, your CM Punks, your Drew McIntyres. They get X amount of time. Then you factor in, your Gunthers, your Damian Priest, you don't have enough time. You want to know why they're doing all these, three ways, there's 6-man tags. There's just not enough time. I mean, Triple H is literally looking, going, okay, how the hell am I going to try to squeeze in,
It won't be squeezed in. And I can explain why. Because this is the whole thing. Because you do have Level Up, that does matter. Also, NXT runs fucking its own little like house show loops. And then also you have the fact that they're sending talent out all over the world now, and then they're working with TNA. We see our boy in the N1 right now, which shout out Marie for bringing that up on the show. And thank you, George Captor, for the super chat. It's called developmental for a reason, Mr. Connor. Exactly. They're going to need time to develop them. But we see the talent. They're spreading out now, and they're working with different companies. And there will be time for everyone. Like you're saying, oh, they can't squeeze everyone in. And here's the thing, though. People are going to come and people are going to go. That's ultimately the thing at the end of the day, too. It's not like it's an overbloated. They're just signing all of these random people. And a lot of these NIL signings, we don't see them for a year or two. I mean,
no, I understand that, but who's leaving? Like, what?
I don't know, bro. That's what I'm not a fucking psychic. I don't know who's leaving, but someone will leave.
Here's the problem with, I credit this to our mutual friend, Ward Dog Kevin Apollo. It's one thing to send NXT kids who, aren't maybe some of the bigger people, like Potato Paxley's, Xylon Quinn's, Dante Chen's to NXT. That's great. It's another thing to send in maybe like an Natalia Neidhart, maybe a AJ Styles. They haven't done that yet because that's a whole separate thing. Those are different contracts. Shawn Michaels is willing to send NXT kids. Triple H hasn't been willing to send over yet any of the SmackDown or Raw people to TNA. That's a whole different beast. I don't know if he's willing to do that. Those are different contracts. That involves NXT. That includes Netflix. That includes now Peacock, NBC, or still Fox. Are they going to be willing to share toys? Like, you and I have covered this with boxing and MMA. It's a whole different thing when you put in networks. They don't like sharing people. They don't like sharing profits. They don't like giving up the toys. It's a whole, it's a whole different beeswax when you're bringing in different networks going, oh, well, yeah, we're going to now give this guy to this network and
I get all that. But they're going to fucking Netflix. They could do a 4-hour Raw. Netflix could go, we're bringing back Saturday Night Main Event.
Yeah, I don't know. They can fucking do all that. I doubt Netflix is going to do 4 hours worth of Raw.
They can. What I'm saying is that it doesn't have to be a time limit now. It doesn't have to be 3. It could go 2.5. It could go fucking 4.5 one night. It could go like that's the beauty of them going on Netflix. Raw could be like, we're gonna have a fucking Iron Man match and it's going to last an hour, and we're on Netflix, so it don't goddamn matter that we're going past the top there. You know what I mean? They can do all those sorts of things, and there'll be room, and Netflix will expand. They'll have shows. I bet they'll have a little fucking, you think they're like at this whole speed tournament, they're doing fucking shows on Twitter now, dude. They're going to find the space. Like, people smarter than you and I are going, and you're incredibly intelligent, Chris Connor, so people smarter than you and I are going to figure out how to fucking put all the bodies that need to be there. But we got to move on, okay? We got to move on. Andrade versus Santos. This match was fucking awesome. I thought it was great, and Andrade is the speed champ. Speaking of the speed champ, a lot of people were like, oh, I don't know. But Escobar won, and he came out and did a promo against LA Knight, and he's like, Escobar, see. And that shit was funny. I thought it was a great match. LA Knight cut a fiery promo. He got monster pops. He was over like Rover. We covered it before. Pretty deadly. They lose, which I did not like, but I don't know. Again, I think there's more value in keeping Ciampa and Gargano as a tag team as opposed to two singles than there are. I think they're focusing on the tag team division. Now, the big, we're going to get into it again because the big thing is Jacob Fatu. He's hurt. Jacob Fatu is, here, sorry. We had Marie fall out there. She's back. I'm back. Okay. No worries. I see you. So Jacob Fatu, right, at SummerSlam, he dives off the table or off the fucking ropes, goes through the announce table, grabs his leg. He's selling. Apparently he hurt his leg. He's spotted wearing a boot at a grocery store. Chris Connor and I got into it a little bit on X about basically here. Well, I'll share with you guys. We'll dive back into Phil Mark's bookmarks here. And so, yeah, SmackDown overall I thought was good, but I responded to this. Corey Graves says Jacob Fatu is out due to injury. And my response is it's kayfabe. They can't have Jacob killing Roman or looking weak by being beat up by Roman. They also had Loa holding one of the tag titles, just as I called it. Jacob's going to come back, and that's going to be the real difference maker to where Roman will need to call upon the Usos or whoever the fuck else. Maybe Hikuleo comes. Who knows? Because Hikuleo is like taller than the rest of these dudes. You guys got to understand, he's even taller than Roman. So if he gets real jacked up, he's going to come in and like really be a difference maker as far as like he could be the guy that Roman's like, nah, this is my guy who can fight Jacob. And you'd go, okay, he's even bigger than Roman, you know? So that I think is the direction they're going to go. I have been wrong about this shit. Who knows? That's just my prediction, right? But this is kayfabe, guys. Same with Logan Paul's injury. Logan Paul is kayfabe injured. And that's because he's not on TV all the time. He just dropped his title. I floated it out there. I heard rumors he might be trying to take on a boxing man. I don't really know how much validity there is to that, but I think he is just really focused on the wrestling, but I think he is just banged up from getting ready for this match, as well as like, you know, he just dropped the belt and he's not going to be on TV all the time. You can't expect him to be. And it's actually impressive how much TV Logan Paul really does do, because he'll even do just like run-ins where he jumps LA Knight and then dips out before a commercial break, you know? So that's been cool, but he just needs some time off. With Jacob, it's a little different. So Jacob Fatu, he has to work this injury because just like I tweeted out here, like Roman's returning. So what was Roman going to think about this SmackDown? And then what was Roman going to do? Kill Jacob as well? After Jacob's just been killing everyone? They can't do that. They have to have him away for a little bit so that when he returns, Roman's actually like, oh shit. Because we saw on SmackDown, he just bodied the GODs all on his own, and Solo as well, more or less. And it was a triumphant finish to SmackDown. Roman was so fucking over when he was doing the ooh-ahs for the spears. The crowd was just at 150%. The building was fucking, yo, dude, Chris, you got to, can you turn that down a bit? Is that the TV? Yeah. Emotional. Here, I'll give you an emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
But yeah, your boy Solo, thank you for the $2 Wrestling Russ. Your boy Solo was the one who had emotional damage because he saw Roman and he had a look on his face like he shit a brick. And then, basically they just couldn't have Jacob running out. Jacob was spotted wearing a boot on his leg at a grocery store. You know, Tony Khan can wear a neck brace to the fucking NFL draft. Jacob Fatu can wear a fucking boot to the grocery store, the 7-Eleven. You know what I mean? That's not that crazy of a thing. And that is my prediction, or not my prediction. That is it's what it is. And Jim Cornette actually agrees with me. So we'll play that clip in a second. But Murray Shadows, I want your opinion on it. You've actually interviewed Jacob Fatu. You've actually talked to the damn man personally. He's gone out of his way. You told a beautiful story. Your thoughts? Is he really hurt or not?
So I'm gonna half agree with you, right? Because technically it should be kayfabe. However, when I saw Jacob fly off the top rope and like hit Cody on the announce table, you can see that his shin like hits it like really, really bad. So I think it's half kayfabe and half being bruised, not broken, just bruised because I know that shit fucking like hurt him like 100%. And then the boot kind of reinforces that he's just healing from it. Also, I do agree that like if Jacob did show up yesterday on SmackDown and go against Roman, that would have been a very bad thing. Because right now we want to make Roman look like the strong babyface. So why not have him go after Tama Aloa? Makes perfect sense. So keeping him off of television was a good idea. But ultimately, I'm half and half. I half think that it's kayfabe and half think that he bruised it. He might need to just like take a couple days just to heal it, and then he'll be back to being his monster self.
What say you, Chris Connor? You were saying here, like I can show what you were saying down below. You're just like, I hope so, but the fact he's walking in a boot ain't good. Might also be the fact Bad Blood is in Germany and Jacob would have visa issues. That's a really good point too. That's a really good point. But then it's kayfabe. We got a kayfabe hurt him, so he can't go to Germany and he can't beat up Roman. It seems perfectly sensical to me.
I mean, I hate the word. I hate kayfabe because it's kayfabe is just like, oh yeah, well, he's not hurt. He's hurt. Is it serious? I don't know. Probably not like, well, he's going to be out for several months. I think it's one of those things where it wasn't great. He got hurt. Is it probably as bad as they think? Probably not. Is it something where they're going to take it, probably, week by week because he's a big guy and they don't want to aggravate it? Sure. Did they call an audible? Probably. Bad Blood. Hey, you know what? Let's just play by ear because, hey, it's Germany. If he misses it, well, no big deal because, hey,
great point.
But look, I was going to bring this up earlier. You start looking around and, man, that was kind of a weak SmackDown because you realize without Logan Paul and without the Bloodline, they really lacking a lot of over heels because outside of those two, who is there? They don't have anybody really. They're Legado Fantasma doesn't really do anything that much. Hopefully, and I love El Hijo del Fantasma now. He's a fantastic worker, but most people have they've been cold, unfortunately, and Andrade, is he a babyface? Is he a heel? We're not sure. Carmelo, he's been, unfortunately, just on a losing streak.
Andrade's babyface. But you're
right.
And
now they're doing the Kevin Owens. Well, I really don't deserve it, but, well, you're tricking me to do it, so all right, I'll challenge Cody because we got nobody else. That's literally really why they're doing it.
But I think that's a great thing to do for Bash in Berlin because that whole thing's the focal point will be Gunther. It won't be fucking Cody anyways. And so I feel like instead of just having, because Roman's back, so let Roman deal with bloodline affairs. Cody is still in that mix a bit, but can he just have a fucking match where there's not someone jumping him or trying to beat him up? Like, can he just have a goddamn match where it's, I'm okay with these in situations like I hate fucking face versus face and heel versus heel and stuff. You guys know that. Your boy Phil harps on it all the time. But what I'm telling you is that in this situation, I go, it's actually perfect for this Bash in Berlin to just have Ian and then Kevin do it. And then once Kevin loses to him, either like, because then that's like done. Like now we're like, okay, Kevin's not going for the WWE title right now. He tried, he lost, he didn't even really want to. Then his focus can go on World Heavyweight title maybe after Randy, or we'll see. But that whole card is like about Gunther and Randy more than it is Cody. And I think it's actually just smart business-wise to do it this way. And it's just a little like side quest in the big picture of what's going on, in my opinion. So this one doesn't offend me too much. But you guys know I fucking hate when they do faces versus faces and heels versus heels. Sorry, Marie, what are you trying to say?
No, man, I'm agreeing with you because I said the same thing earlier on my show when I talked about Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes. It wasn't like on the list of like number one, yeah, this should happen. But I think sometimes in wrestling and doing wrestling shows and building up to the new pay-per-view in a new country that may not feature the golden boy Cody Rhodes, it's okay for him to have like a very soft sort of match. He doesn't need to have a rematch with Solo because we're not in the Vince era, even though sometimes Triple H might do rematches. You know, it's okay for Cody to have like a nice one-off with Kevin Owens and see where that goes and see what happens. But Bash in Berlin is definitely going to have Gunther as the main focal point. So it's okay. You know, it's not what I want, but it's fine. I don't want them to rush another Cody versus Cody versus Solo, or like Roman versus Cody. Like that should all be slow burn, you know?
Yep, 100%. Here we have a super chat here. Jimmy B for $10.
Best guys, Tony Khan.
I'm in the minority here, but I didn't like how Roman made both GODs and Solo look weak. Exactly. Now, and I'm okay with it a little bit just because the idea is like Loa's kind of hurt and had his eye gouged out, and Solo wasn't expecting, like, he is the little bruv and all that. So like you have to have, they're gonna get theirs on Roman, trust me. Jacob's gonna murder Roman soon, but it's gonna happen like slow burn, just as Marie was saying, right? So now imagine what you're saying, but then also Jacob's there and he just hits Jacob with the fucking stairs. Nah, dude, they planned that injury. They can't have him there right now because if Roman's going to kill everyone, you can't have Jacob killing everyone too, right? It's like if Bronson Reed on Raw, he kills Seth Rollins with the tsunami splashes, and then fucking Gunther comes out and kills a guy with his three big splashes. You'd be like, what the fuck, you know? So can't have two guys doing the same thing or make either of them look weak. So that's my opinion on that. And I agree with you. It's not good they did that, but they have to, man. Did you hear the crowd? They wanted that so bad, man. Roman was just ooh-ahing all over the place. They were behind him. OTC, the whole building, man. The ones were up the whole fucking time. The place exploded. You're talking about a company right now. You got Cody, and then Roman just got fucking over Roman and John Cena's about to come in for another run. Like, what the? Oh my God. It's like too much. I'm yeeting all over the place. Sorry, go ahead.
I like to comment on Jimmy's thing. I will say this though, that I don't think the new bloodline is having a hard time getting over because the crowd is at least making noise. If the crowd didn't make noise and didn't turn Roman babyface as soon as Solo took over, then we would have had a problem. They're getting over in their own way, which is it's in a very chaotic way. It's not like, you know, Roman being at the head of the table guiding the OG bloodline and doing what, you know, he did for all those years. This new bloodline, people are booing, people are like, Solo, you suck, you know, we want Roman. Like, I haven't experienced that until, like, you know, this year in this era. So I do think that they are getting over. They're not really having a hard time because people are reacting. But I don't think that Roman, I mean, yeah, maybe to a degree that Roman made God and Solo to look weak, but you have to understand that, like, for weeks, Solo wanted people to acknowledge him as the tribal chief, and he was forcing it. So, you know, of course he has to like run away when the actual tribal chief comes through. It's like, you know, if you have a sibling and they try to act all big and bad, and when you confront them, they're like, oh no, I'm going to go over there and try to be safe. The other thing too is that, like, the way that the way that the new bloodline has been dismantling Cody is because Cody is the ultimate babyface, even though he has that Homelander in him and he could turn that on. But sometimes someone like Cody who understands the business has to make, the new bloodline look strong until the rightful person can come in and kick all their asses.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense.
Like that's the thing. I don't think their momentum's killed because they just destroyed and ran shit over everyone. They had like Tama Tonga came in and he had fucking Orton and he was fighting Orton and he had Kevin Owens bloodied up and they're chomping dudes' heads and Jacob's taking out the tag champs on his own. Like Roman can come in and whoop some ass all fired up, looking in the best shape of his life. You're going to see them get back on him too. Like Roman's going to get his back, and then Jacob's going to come in, destroy Roman. Then we're going to see Hikuleo. Where is he? It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait for it all. And thank you so much for the super chat. That's fantastic. And then You Ain't Hype. Come on, team. Let's get them likes up, bruvs. And I'll give you a bruv for that. What are we at here, guys? We've had like 205 people watching, something like 206 right now. We're at 78 likes. So even you haters, even you guys in there talking about WWE fans, hit that like button. I appreciate you. And Chris Connor had to take off for a bit there, guys. And he may be back in a bit. Come on, team. Let's get them likes up, bruvs. Thank you so much. I'll give you a bruv. And I'm going to give Chris Connor a round of applause as well. And so I don't know, guys. That's my whole thing. I think it's a kayfabe injury. And there's no way. And then also the Germany thing. I didn't even factor that in. Like it might be a challenge to get him into, Germany in the first place. So it might be, it's like just write him off for like a month, let Roman kick everyone's ass, and then we'll bring him back in. So guys, sorry, go ahead.
Which, by the way, I want to talk about Bash in Berlin for like 2 more seconds.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
So, every time that they show the video package and they're like, we're going to have this match, right? And you guys hear the song, right? Listen, I marked out and I popped for the song because the song is from Electric Callboy. If you guys don't know who they are. They are an amazing, alternative techno band. They're like, I would have to send you some songs in DMs, but the main song that they got is called Ratata. Right? It's Electric Callboy with Baby Metal. And that is one of my favorite songs. So I was excited because I was like, oh shit, they better book them. And that would make them, man. Like I really do enjoy their music, especially when they do cover songs and then do their own original music. Like it's something different. Like I don't really listen to that kind of music. I tend to stick to my rock, my metal, my rapping. But Electric Callboy, I'm just gonna put you guys on.
Okay, and are they they're obviously big in Germany or something like that?
Yeah, they are. Okay. They are big in Germany, and they just did a U.S. tour. So they were over here in New York. Like this year, they went to Japan. They went to other places too. I believe that if you play it on stream, you'll be fine. I don't think they'll hit you with a copyright. But if they do, you could just be like you're talking over it.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll do that. Guys, I might whip on Collision here, honestly. Someone was saying something nice about the Outrunners, and I can't I might as well check that match out. See, I'm Phil Marks, book Marks. I do mark out. So here, I don't know. I got some mark stuff to show you guys. I got a bunch of bookmarks. We'll just sort of fly into these things, move around them as Collision's on. Here's a dude who, if you were a tape trader in the 90s, 2000s, you've probably seen and loved Superboy, a.k.a. The Convict. Truly one of Lucha's unsung heroes and one of my favorite people. Let's watch this highlight match. Look at this chubby Lucha dude back in the day, man. This is awesome.
I mean, big guys can move nowadays,
Yeah, well, this guy was back in the day, the 90s, 2000s. So,
and by the way, you have some Electric Callboy fans in your chat, which I like.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, shout them out. I'll definitely check some of that out, and maybe we'll play it. I've had problems though. You play music in your fucking streams, I swear it's like a death sentence.
Yeah, but you can always dispute it, man. I dispute anything that they say is copyright, and I'll be like, I'm following the copyright laws. I also took classes about copyright anyway, so I'm good.
I'm educated on my shits with the YouTube. I just still, it's just something I don't. I've had bad luck with it in the past where I thought things were good that I was just like, But anyways, here, I don't know. This guy was flipping around. Chat. Anybody remember this guy? I don't know who the hell this guy was, but shout him out. I thought that was funny. I like bringing old school videos to you guys like that. Here's the fucking Jack Perry commercial. It wasn't a commercial. It was a literal vignette where a Taco Bell commercial played in the middle of it. Now, this Dynamite, and we'll talk about the ratings as I try and get Collision on here. It did terrible ratings in the overrun. It's like Tony advertising the overrun has, like, the audience that normally would tune in during that time now is starting to go, oh no, that wrestling shit will be on, and now we're tuning out because, like, the overrun ain't helping, nothing's helping. The dude's, he needs a fucking lifeboat, and I don't know, man. He just thinks everything's great.
Yeah, man.
And I don't. Yeah, but this happened in the middle of their show, and just some of the IWC people ridiculously responded to this, like, oh, Taco Bell should give them lots of money because everyone's talking about it now and shit. They're just so, it's crazy. It's literally psychotic. I'm going to play this. Hopefully I don't get Don Stevens for this, but I'm going to turn this down here. And
question is how much you're willing to sacrifice.
Like, we're for sure going to get Don Stevens unless I pause a bunch. So boom, all of a sudden, like in the middle of this guy's promo, Taco Bell.
Wow.
Yeah, is this real? Like, was this intentional? Some people were like, it's a work. Look, the watermarks here for AEW. And it's like, no, dude, the production sucks and Warner just doesn't give a shit, and they have $10 billion less or $9 billion less than everybody thought. That's what it is. And this is crazy that this happened.
Why take less when you can get it?
Hyper is also good. Good job, chat.
Damn, this makes me want Taco Bell, though. Let's be real.
Yeah, right?
And then it goes back to dude's promo. This was on your wrestling program.
This is the first time I'm seeing this, by the way. Because I don't watch Dynamite, but this is the first time I've seen this. That's bad.
Oh my god, man. It's honestly. All it does is make me want Taco Bell and not want to see Jack Perry wrestle. And like, what a bad promo. Oh, I'm going to be a spooky guy with an axe. And then Drain Bamager's like, LMFAO what? And it's like, people need to be calling this shit out. There's no way this stuff isn't being called out. Yo quiero Taco Bell, yo quiero Jack Perry, I guess. And I don't know. Your thoughts on that, Marie?
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Yo quiero, yeah. You gotta.
Just put the accent in there.
You ain't hype says for $2 says all of the tricks aren't working any longer.
Yeah,
that's great.
They're not, man. And it's crazy that like when WBD out of nowhere, so they go, the window of negotiating's closed for Tony Khan and AEW. And then all of a sudden, like 2 days later, it comes out they have $10 billion or whatever less than like what they have been reported or what's been reported and shit. And it's just, I don't mean to, I'm not like, yeah, I want them to fail. You guys know that. Like, I'm struggling trying to put on Collision here just so I can watch FTR and the Outrunners. That's how much of a mark I am. But the thing is like, you know, you gotta laugh when the writing was on the wall for so long and so many people were like, dude, what are you doing? Like, steer the ship in the right way. You know, you can do this. Like, try listening to critics. Why aren't you listening to other people? I don't know. Now they have Taco Bell commercials going on during their top guy. Like, isn't Perry supposed to be one of their top guys, right?
I don't know.
Well, that's who they build the whole show around. Like, Tony Khan got attacked, the Young Bucks or whatever. They're there, but they're not there. So I'll get into that. So here's Dave Scheer with the ratings, right? And Dave Scheer says it's a good thing that their biggest show of the year isn't anytime soon, right? Man, this is fugly. It's not easy to lose 306,000 viewers from start to finish. Tony found a way to do it, damn. So here's the ratings. Like, Big Bang comes in with a solid 822K. And then look at this, just instantly, like almost 100,000 people, almost another 100,000, almost 300,000. Boom, by the overrun, they're all like, fuck this. You have like over 300,000 people less. And then like it's the opposite of what NXT does. So NXT wins the ratings. I don't care when they play the trick and go, the average. But no, the average is 900,000 people turning their fucking TVs off who were literally watching Sheldon Cooper. That's what the average is. So it's not fucking your show even doing that. This is what your show's doing. 732 to 535. And even that, I don't know. Like how much, so people were like, yeah, I really like MJF and Fletcher. Not really, because so I don't know. I don't know. All I can say is that yeah, it's incredibly disappointing, and their biggest shows coming. And even I tried to shill for them. Phil the Shill was like, man, the 800,000, they held it for an hour. They had to hotshot book to do that. If they don't do that, there's no interest. Tony put out a statement saying, man, a bunch of the talent couldn't make it to Dynamite, right? But then he also comes out and says, and I covered it on the show, on the live show, but then he also comes out and says that every scheduled match made it, though. Every scheduled match was there. So this was his card. This had nothing to do with people not being able to show up. This was just a fucking terrible rating. And then they used the Olympics as an excuse, but then beats the Olympics on cable and in the demos and all this. And then there's no fucking, Meltzer's coping and saying, well, they advertised their move to the Sci-Fi Network really well. It's embarrassing. It's humiliating, man. It's really humiliating. And we have a video here with that I believe Awful Wrestling put Wrestling Bro put together of the ratings difference, and I will show it to you guys. Sorry. I should have these bookmarks more organized because I have the blue check. Here we go. Here's Awful Wrestling, who put this together, and let me see this. Boom. I don't know if there's, you guys can see this, obviously. So here's the NXT ratings. So like, even though they were in the 500,000s, like at least if AEW was doing this, I would be putting them over on my life. Okay, guys, I would be putting it over and going, well, look, they're starting low and then they're peaking interest and they're like building towards their main event. Now, when they had Trick Williams and all the shit he was doing with Carmelo in the main event, fucking AEW's ratings were beating NXT's ratings were beating AEW. Now that they've shifted away from Trick, we're starting to see like, damn, it's not, the main events aren't hitting as hard and stuff. And they also just had Pete Dunne go over on Trick blatantly, like just clean. So hopefully they have an idea for Trick, because he's so over. You want to talk about killing momentum. But either way, this is how you like need to build interest to a wrestling show, in my opinion. But the overrun piqued some more interest, but whatever. I would even give NXT some shit, like, damn, you guys are going to C-Dub, let's step it up. But when they go head to head with AEW, we'll really see, because we know that CM Punk and I believe Cody Rhodes are going to be on the NXT's, because in October, just in time for my birthday and Tony Khan's birthday, NXT and AEW go head to head like 2 days before Tony Khan's birthday. It's going to be fucking hilarious. But yeah, here's a little video Awful put together, just contrasting the two. And I guess I'm doing the same thing just by showing the charts. So yeah, and NXT was on Sci-Fi as well. It wasn't even on its normal shit, I don't think, because of Olympics or whatever. So your thoughts on just basically NXT and AEW head to head and the ratings, just basically everything I'm blibbering and bathering about there, Marie.
I mean, it's kind of sad to start off strong and then somehow just dip, where people are like, "Oh, I'm interested." Like just dip, and then to blame it on the Olympics, but the Olympics are every 4 years. They can't keep doing that. They can't keep saying, "Oh, this is our excuse. This is our excuse." No, just own it. Write some stories, listen to a couple people, and like do a whole overhaul. I do think that like any of the bad publicity is like really starting to affect the brand of AEW and the brand of the wrestlers. And people just don't want to see it anymore. As opposed to NXT, where NXT understands what they are and what they present to the wrestling fans. You go there and you watch a wrestling show, meaning that like you're gonna get entertained and you're gonna be like, oh my god, that guy flipped, a million times, but then got caught. You're gonna be lost in the story. It's a little bit harder to do that with AEW Dynamite because, just AEW in general, because AEW is so meta that they probably know they're meta, but they don't they don't stop being meta, if that makes any sense. But it's shocking, it really is. Maybe it is.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying. I see in the chat too. They need to 180 on Trick. They do. They need to fix that Trick. They really, really, really do. And before though, I was talking about the Young Bucks, and I tweeted this out. Oh, great! Build a whole angle around the Bucks invading the company and have them attack Tony Khan and give them NBA level deals when you're in the red, just so they can take time off right before AEW's biggest event of the year. This is a joke. And the Bucks have been off TV because their contract has them working limited dates. And their EVPs, and this thing's going to shit, and they're wrestling. No one wants to see them fucking wrestle on the show, and they build the whole fucking angle around them invading the company that doesn't culminate at All In. It has nothing to do with All In, and these guys have done nothing good, no good whatsoever. And this is an old school Bucks fan right here, but it's the truth, man. We got to be objective about it, and it just really. I don't know. This just irks me. It's like, what do you mean limited dates? They should be working fucking overtime right now on TV, trying to get over this whatever bullshit that wasn't working, that they at least let them just get squished and murdered by someone to make everyone happy, at least give people what they want to see or something. They're just going to show up at All In and like a 3-way tag team title match. And it's meaningless and nothingness. And they're contributing to it. And they're making NBA level fucking deals for less dates. Tony gave them NBA level deals, 7 figures probably. That's what comes to mind when you're saying NBA level to me. Both of them as individuals, and they're showing up to work less now, leading up to what is supposed to be their WrestleMania level show.
I agree.
And as I'm supposed to be a fan of this, I'm supposed to get behind this and be like, yeah. Meanwhile, Cody's in Japan while SmackDown's on, cutting a promo from his locker room, fucking sending it in. What are we doing, man? I don't know. It irks me. For $5 here, Donnie Suarez, thank you so much.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
AEW fans complain about NXT. You're with Punk and Orton, but are okay with MJF versus Ospreay. Make it make sense. Hi, Phil and crew. Bye. Hey, you must be in a rush or something, bro. I appreciate you for that. Dude, thank you so much, Donnie Source. And they do. They're complaining about NXT and they're going to cry. Here's the thing with NXT. It's developmental where main roster guys rotate in and out of there. And they're going to cry about it. But exactly, they have these multi-million-dollar guys on each show getting $500,000 viewers. And the fact is, the debate is between them and NXT, and the most main roster guys NXT has right now is Gallows and Anderson. So the fact that that's even the fucking debate of here's what we compare to. We can't compare Dynamite to SmackDown or none of that shit. That's telling enough. And then when Punk and Orton, I think it's Orton that's going to be on NXT. Yeah, not Cody. It's going to be Orton on the one and then CM Punk on the other one. And they're taking NXT on the road and it's on the C-Dub. I can't wait. But they're going to get so mad and they're going to be like, oh, I had to bring out the A-listers. But then they're so dumb that they don't get how that's a diss to all of the guys who are getting multi-million-dollar contract, quote-unquote A-listers, best wrestlers in the world in AEW. It's a slap in the face to all them. To say oh, Punk is bigger than fucking all of our roster or what? That's just them eating themselves alive and they don't even realize it. But I'll never get tired of covering it or laughing at it. Thank you so much for the super chat. But Marie, your thoughts? The Bucks just taking off.
Listen, man, I'm with you 100% in your assessment. The only thing that I would probably add on is that the AEW fans, the ones that are still hanging on, praise this. They don't say anything. They don't give any pushback. But if you talk about the Golden Boy Cody Rhodes, they come out of left field to tell you that Cody Rhodes lied about a lot of things. And then it's like, well, why are you not using the same energy towards the Young Bucks, where the Young Bucks should be building the vision that they wanted since like 2019? Like, this is what I don't understand. It's like, did they want to have just easy lives? And I get it. Like, I would like to have an easy life that gets that basically gets a paycheck every, week or whatever, however it goes in the wrestling business. I would love that. But I know that hard work and determination and like ambition will pay off, and then you guys could be as big as WWE rather than trying to poke the bear and be like, "Oh, look at us, look at us, look at us." Wrestling is tough and it's hard, and I get it. And the boys end up like putting their body through so much, but it's like, what can you do? You can't really drag them to the office because they're going to go kicking and screaming. If they're going to stay home, they're going to stay home, and they're going to realize why Wembley again is probably going to be, another failure. And I'm probably going to get heat for that, but failure in the fact of like, there are probably high expectations for the UK crowd itself, not so much of the American crowd, but it's probably high expectations for the UK crowd. And then it may not even, deliver, because the Young Bucks are going to do the same thing. It's going to be the same formula. It's going to be the same super kicks, the same spots. How much can you do? Like, I'm totally with you, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the ratings are a reflection of it. And just when I talk about these fans who don't realize they're shitting on, they don't realize how by not being honest about the shit, they're just making it worse. And yeah, they bury the talent backhandedly. Meltzer does this all the time too.
Yep.
But this AEW defender, Taco Bell, is looking at social media, trying to decide how much more money they should throw at AEW. Thanks, trolls. I hope you're having a Baja Blast with that Jack Perry clip. Like, he thought that's cute. Like, that's literally one of the most cringiest tweets I've ever seen in my life.
Dummy. Yeah.
And like, yeah, dude, no, they're not trying to do that, bro, whatsoever. And these numbers indicate that. Look at that shit. They're not trying to do that at all.
No.
They're fucking getting ready to sue AEW. Like, how dare you? How dare you air our commercial during this shit? No, I'm just joking. But
I honestly think that somebody in the production, like, truck or whatever, just press the button for commercial, like just right in the middle of that Jack Perry thing, just to be like, I'm so tired of this shit.
Yeah, it was like Chris Daniels. He's like, oh, fuck this.
Right.
For $5 says it's all about leadership. It's all about leadership.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
Played his role, the company would roll downhill. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna quickly mention that I don't even know any update of if Jack Perry is still part of House of Torture. I don't even know if that shit is still a thing.
Who knows? Yeah, most of the chat's probably like, "What the fuck is House of Torture, Marie?"
Oh God, guys, how much time you got?
Yeah, exactly. It's goddamn. But Roosh is out here on Collision, and I'm a big Roosh fan, so let's go Roosh. But yeah, you ain't hype. It is all about leadership. That's the key thing lacking in all these problems. When there's people bullying people backstage, and you're not, or not even bullying, just fights breaking out, you're not handling business correctly, you can't tell your friends no, and all of that shit. It just falls on leadership ultimately. Everything at the end of the day, it stems from from the roots, the seed, or all the roots stem from the seed, or however you want to look at it. And he just needs and start with better creative, or like even their backstage segments with Osprey and fucking MJF. Like, how about film those better? Like, shit, man, it just looks so amateurish. For $10, Andre Adams says, not saying the Bucks got them suits from the same place Seth Rollins shops, but I'm pretty damn sure it's close. Dude, yeah, I mean, come on. How many? They wear little kid suits, bro. They got baby shoes on. Oh my goodness. Shot for that shit at Baby Gap. No, Seth Rollins though, man, he was looking very flagrant at the SummerSlam as well. And at first I was like, this is going to be too distracting. I honestly thought that his pants. And then I don't know, the match, like Punk and Drew did such a good job of telling a story. Like, you literally forgot about it. He was less flashy than Aubrey Edwards.
Oh God.
Somehow, some way, like literally, it was insane. So Yeah, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate. I can't add on to that. Andre Adams always comes in with a legendary roast at least once a show, and so I really appreciate that. One more like. Thank you so much, George Captor, as well. Gatekeeping the likes there. I appreciate you doing the Lord's work there, brother. But yeah, man, these fans like to cope. And we were talking about WBD before, and WBD's like, we have to save money. They do, but the Cartoon Network's website has been shut down.
What?
Owned by Warner. Yes, dude. And this sucks. Like, I'm a nerd, dude. I like this shit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I use the Cartoon Network website ever, but I mean, I grew up on that shit. I love all that stuff, and I don't know, man. It's just sad, and it just redirects people to Max. So they're just siphoning people like, no, come watch Cartoon Network here. Now, of course, that's a good idea if you're trying to just say, no, it's all on here. But just the fact, like, why would the site shut down? And I'm sure there were people working for it and da-da-da-da. So they just looked at the Cartoon Network site as, hey, fuck it. You just got to come over here now. So, and these are cost-cutting measures, folks. As much as some people might go, no, it's not. It is cost-cutting measures. Think about this. Eric Bischoff famously walked into WCW and was like, oh, we have to cut costs on pencils. Vince McMahon came in and got rid of water coolers and shit. So, yes, shutting down a whole site and the staff, the people who operate it and all the cost that goes into and all of it, that's definitely a cost cutting measure, you know what I mean? And we have even people like JD from NY206 who says, so AEW announces tonight, which I believe is tonight, Swerve Strickland will defend the world title, or it's a title eliminator. So if he loses, someone gets a shot at his belt. Fucking dumb. You also have MJF defending his title at Rev Pro against Michael Oku or some shit like that, leading up to. That's silly as well. So yeah, even JD from NY is going, why? 2 weeks before All In, we're doing open challenges to who? In front of who? 300,000 people? Talk about fucking clueless, man. Holy shit. Now, I applaud him for saying that, but I don't know what he was saying a year ago when they were doing the same shit, but people are waking up. That's all I'm saying. AIR Gold even pipes in last night and goes, I can't lie. I'm watching Rampage, or this is this morning, and there's not one good thing on tonight's episode, or this was yesterday, today, whatever the fuck, in the morning. Yeah. I can't lie. I'm watching Rampage, and there's not one good thing on tonight's episode. So even this dude is admitting the shit. So when people want to sit there and be like, oh, the blue checks are just doing for the fucking, no, fuck you. That's why I waited over a year. Or actually, no, I was in the IWC way longer, but I waited a couple years to get my goddamn blue check, because I didn't want to be accused of that shit, but people are going to throw it around anyway, so fuck it. And the even AIR Gold, who we've covered on the show, who has me blocked, is saying the shit. Like, it's bad. And this collision here, I don't know, Roosh just had a great showing there. Preston Vance got color. I thought they were in a tag team, so a little weird that they just bloodied each other up as far as I'm concerned. But anyways, Donnie Soros says, love PWT clan. One mention of Aubrey and the horse emojis appear. Yeah, dude. I really, I need some sort of sound. I don't want to be too fucking mean, but I'll throw out a Conan. But I don't know. If there's a galloping sound effect MP3 that ends up in my email, that's on you guys. If I were to say prowrestletimes@gmail.com, and if there were an MP3 quickly cut up clip, it would be on you guys, and that would be not on me. So
I mean, there is a thing called My Instance MP3. So
yeah, exactly.
You guys go work your magic. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So we even have AIR Gold, and then when you feature shit like this on the show, so here's Wheeler Yuta just burying like 17 moves right here. So I'm going to turn the volume off, and here's Aubrey Edwards, guys. So I know you spotted her out in the wild, just trotting along, in the wild. You guys spotted it, not me. I didn't. And I know it's hard to like wrangle it in. Oh my God, they're airing the Jack Perry commercial. Let's see if Taco Bell pops up again. That will confirm if it's a work or not. Okay. But here's Wheeler Yuta on Dynamite or Rampage or some shit. And look at what he's doing. And why are they going with the white ropes trying to look like a fucking look like WWE. Like, it's just so desperate. And look at what he's doing. He's burying 18 moves here. Here's Aubrey Edwards selling the shit herself. So he does like a sliced bread reversal into a tombstone, right? Cross-legged tombstone.
What?
And then look at what he does. Instead of pinning him, he picks him up and then starts elbowing him. Elbow, elbow, elbow. And this is Rocky Romero, too, putting fucking Yuta over.
Listen. I just want to.
And then he chicken wings him, dude. So hold on a minute. He fucking tombstones him. He fucking hits him with the Gary Goodridge elbow, brutal, vicious elbow strikes. The 12 to 6s, and then he fucking, instead of covering him, he slings him over into a Danielson special chicken wing. And then he has to verbally tap. So you drop a guy on his head, batter his head, and then fucking make him try and verbally tap, or like the ref stoppage. It doesn't make sense. B, it just buried 4 different moves. Let's look at this.
So
yeah.
So what he does is a cattle mutilation. That is what Danielson does. That's what he's known for.
Yeah.
I do a series called Tape Study Series where I break down professional wrestling matches, and oh my god, I'm trying to contain a little bit of anger on this because it's kind of stupid. I say that less is more. If you're gonna do that like tombstone kind of thing where you have the legs and you like clutch it in and you drive his head down, cover him. I don't give a shit. That should be it. 1, 2, 3, you win the match. There's no reason for you to have like elbows right after that. There's no reason for you to try to Wheeler hawk up because like, bro, you're not even like that big of a hawking person to hawk up like that anyway. But you shouldn't be doing that. And then you shouldn't even be doing academy mutilation because academy mutilation in itself is basically like a good ass move to submit somebody. I swear, this is why he got booed out of the arena when he went over to Japan to do the best of the Super Juniors, and I was not having it on my show. I was like, bro, you suck right now. Which I don't say that. I really don't. I do not like saying to a wrestler they suck. I like saying to a wrestler, hey, this is bad. But seriously, dude, no one sits down with these people to be like, bro, just use that as a finisher. Don't do no follow-up. Because obviously the guy is like not responding. He's not blocking. He's not trying to be like, oh, let me grab this elbow and let me try to like get out of this and go to the corner and get some life into me. No, he's not doing that shit. He's knocked the fuck out. Why are you still continuing to attack him? Like, it bothers the fuck out of me. And I just want wrestling to be really good. You know, I want wrestlers to have to make sense.
For my live show listeners, if you're not familiar, Squared Circle Podcast with Marie Shadow, she covers New Japan in depth, like can mark out harder than me about New Japan and shit. And if you're into that, or you want like a history lesson, or you want like move breakdowns too, she's got great shit over there. So make sure you check that out. As well, we're trying to get you to monetize status. So guys, if you support what I do over here, go support Marie as well. And yeah. You ain't hyped for $2 says all excuses wrestling is dead. I had high hopes. High hopes. Talking about high hopes. Listen. Me too. I won't say it's dead. No matter what, Tony will like put it on an app or something. Like it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, like Tony will just spend his money and have it. It'll just be on Triller or something. But ultimately, he fucked up this business deal, like everyone said. And it's just unfortunate. I thought everyone was going to be proven wrong. Like, I didn't think that overall, but I thought somewhere in my soul, I was like, he's going to come out and get this crazy deal. Not like $1 billion, but it's going to be some shit where we all will be like, damn, we really put our feet, and even Eric Bischoff would have to eat some humble pie. And then just the opposite happened. WBD's like, yeah, well, we're shutting up shop, so you can fucking come with us, or you're on a sinking ship either way. So if you stick with us, you're just gonna look dumb too. So it's I don't know, it's bad, man. It just turned out you can't help but kind of laugh at it when people like, I'm a fucking diehard. I was a diehard. I got Collision on right now. Ishii's coming out here and like
Ishii. Wait, I'm sorry. I don't mean to do this, but this has to be put as a soundbite from me. Guys, if you're gonna be saying the Japanese names, it's just Ishii. There is no Ishii.
Ishii. I know.
No, I hate
Everyone
it.
just does the Cornette. Like I just did the Cornette
Oh,
impersonation.
well, see, you know what? I give Cornette a pass because I know that he's playing around, but sometimes it bothers me. However, it is just Ishii. Eddie Kingston started. Eddie Kingston started with the Ishii. The same thing with Naito. It's Naito, not Naito.
Yeah.
Even though Jim Cornette's explanation as to why he says it that way, I was like, all right, cool. I'll give you a pass, but no one's really thinking Nato. No one's thinking that, dude, but I'll give you a pass. But it is Naito, and then it's Ishii. Like, guys, please don't make my ears like go off and be like a red flag.
Let's go.
I
They're gonna do it now. They're gonna do it now even more. I got shit too for the way I pronounce Vaquer or Vaquer, and I'm just like, I'm fucking sorry, but it is what it is. Like, I'm just saying it how I've heard other people say it. So
yeah, I know, I get that. With her, it's because in the Spanish for like in Chile, it's you actually do pronounce it with like a K sound, so it is like Vaquer how they say it. It's not like how Puerto Ricans and Italians, Puerto Ricans and Dominicans like pronounce their stuff. It's not like that. So you have to say it with the K sound.
So speaking of Jim Cornette, and we were talking about SmackDown earlier, and I forgot to play this for Chris Connor. I forgot he was on a limited time, but we just started arguing and we lost track of time and everything. So my bad. But I hope that was entertaining for you guys. We love each other, and I love going back and forth with the dude. But yeah, Jim Cornette agrees with me about this thing. To rub it in more, I'm going to play this clip of Cornette. But earlier I was talking about, these marks, they like to do like the stopwatch game and go, the whole SmackDown was promo and then just one boring match and stuff. And these promos, man, these wrestlers put their heart and souls into these promos, coming up with these gimmicks, coming up with these fucking storylines, all of the like these vignettes, all of this stuff on top of like the wrestling. Like they take great artistic pride in this too. So to boo-boo on that, you're backhanding these wrestlers who like work in WWE. You think they don't understand it's the cream of the crop. I'll give you the perfect example. So Gunther, who is just one of the best technical wrestlers. Like Meltzer used to fucking nut in his pants over Gunther before the dude popped up in WWE. And then he started saying he was fat. And then when he got skinny, he's saying, oh, he's too skinny. He just looks like a regular guy. But either way, here's Gunther saying, he believes that Timothy Thatcher would thrive on a bigger stage if he would divert away from his quote-unquote core values, but also respects him for sticking to them. Now, some people might twist this and go, oh, Gunther's saying sellout. No, he's not saying that. He's just saying that, he'll say it right here. I think Tim would be on a bigger stage right now if he would divert away from some of his core values and accept professional wrestling for what it is on the big stage. As much as I enjoy that gritty catch, can shoot style wrestling with no smoke and mirrors, the reality is that it isn't going to draw the attention of a lot of people in 2024. At the end of the day, what we do is a business. But I respect that he does what makes him happy. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're not happy, then that's pretty useless. So Gunther, just a professional round of applause for Gunther there, because what he's saying is legit.
Yep.
But I couldn't agree with him more. And he's the most real quote unquote wrestler there is, Gunther, the ring general, the world heavyweight champion. Okay. He's doing the damn thing. And so even he agrees with this, and the stopwatch marks, they time the promos. And I'm saying, the bloodline stuff has been brilliant. And yes, it's a lot of talking and brawling and and vignettes and shit. And that's what wrestling has to be as well. At its core, it's a lot of that too. At its core, it is the wrestling, but beyond that, how you draw a house, you have to do things other than just the wrestling and the physicality. So I just wrote, the funniest thing about these stopwatch marks timing the wrestling versus promos is that they're undermining the talent who work their asses off and are proud of these promos and stories and doing the monster business they're doing because of these promos, etc. This is why nobody likes you motherfuckers. You're not standing up for wrestlers or wrestling, just your own goofy self-serving purposes. And
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. So But with the Jacob Fatu thing, so I want to shoot over to Jimmy Cornette over here. Let me big screen this and share this tab. You guys can see that, right? We see Super Roman there. And here we go. So
throws the stairs in the ring, and he hits Solo with him once, and he hits him twice.
Shout out Jim Cornette. Don't pull us. Shout out Brian Last. Yeah, he's gonna explain it better than I can as far as like how and why. Like Jim can spot it. If I'm spotting it and I think I'm spotting it, but I'm fucking stupid, and then I hear Jim Cornette review it and he goes, "No, yeah, he's kayfabing that shit." Or he goes, or maybe it comes out he was hurt, but it's not as bad as they hype it up or whatever. That's exactly where I'm at with it. We already covered it, but yeah, just to circle back to this, here's Jim's thoughts. This is a great take from him, and I mean, he agrees with your boy Phil. That's all I'm saying.
And he goes, but now he's just hit this guy with the stairs twice, and he goes for the big third one, and Solo comes with a spear, spears him out from under the stairs, 2 count. Great face. Solo missed the running ass in the corner 3rd time, but
I lost the spot. I think it's at like around 12 minutes. Sorry, guys.
You know who's been unaccounted for? Oh, the werewolf. Oh, it's the werewolf. It's the werewolf. Wolfman Jack.
Is that Wolfman Jack? Yeah, what are you doing?
That's who it is. That's what Jacob Fatu sounds like. He sounds like Wolfman Jack.
Oh my God.
Laying mounds of sand. You got the money, honey. I got the time. And Fatu levels Cody Rhodes and hits the springing moonsault and puts Solo on top of Cody. 2 count. Holy shit. So then Solo says to Fatu, put him through the table. And Fatu puts Cody on the announce desk, clears it off. Who puts their desk back together?
Dude, when he was saying this part, he just said it. Who puts the announce desks back together? Now, as a fan, I've wondered that forever. Fucking Cornette worked there and he's asking the question. So damn it. I'm like, damn, mystery not solved yet. Shoot. Usually he has the insight on that. So I don't know. This next little bit's funny here.
I saw the desk cleared off at least 3 times, right? And then the next time somebody goes to do it, all the monitors are back, the notes, the wiring, everything's right there. They sweep it all off again. Do they have a desk reassembler side? Or do you think each announcer has to?
They do, I guarantee.
Fend for themselves.
You grab a leg and I grab a leg? No, they have to have someone there.
Yeah, no, just the staff. It's just the staff. That's so funny. It's just like the ring crew, you know? They just have people who do all the around the ring shit, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
You grab a leg and I grab a leg, honey. You grab a leg and I grab a leg. So he cleared off the desk of the thing, and he goes to the top rope and he splashes Cody through the table. But instantly, Jacob Fatu grabs his left leg. I believe it was his left leg. And he's screaming, and he did an incredible job of selling it. It looks like he's either had a leg broken or broken somebody's leg before.
Probably both.
Probably.
Because he did a fantastic fucking sell job. Many people were convinced that he was goddamn fucked up.
Well, apparently he was seen around today in a walking boot.
And I'm proud of him for that too.
Exactly. You just slap a boot on. It's easy.
That's the modern day equivalent of the neck brace. Because, maybe we're going to find out that he broke a bone or two. But what I'm saying is there was a need, because of what was going to happen next, for Jacob Fatu to be rendered in compos mentis, rendered irrelevant there. They couldn't, with the push they're giving him and the build they're giving him, they couldn't have somebody else take him out that would destroy his aura of danger and potential invincibility, but they couldn't have him up and about for what was about to go on. And what is the perfect compromise? He hurts himself in the act of hurting someone else.
Boom. Right there. Air horns. So yeah, Jim gets it, obviously, and that's that's all I was saying, is that I just don't think I just think it makes more sense that they needed him off TV.
Yeah.
Now, and then also that night too, because when I was tweeting out my argument, it was like I didn't even think about, oh yeah, and at SummerSlam, what would have happened if Roman came in? Because he kind of beat him up there too, right? And then Jacob's there. What would have happened? He just spears Jacob, and then Jacob rolls out and just fucking sells it and runs away. Like, nah, you can't do that. They have to like kayfabe break his leg or whatever. Makes the most sense to me. And WWE's just operating on another level. DJ Wavy D, the crowd let out an audible boo. Tony is so dumb. Yeah, dude, I don't know. This match, it's crazy that you're gonna have Swerve go to the limit with Ishii on fucking Collision.
Oh my god,
we're all in. It's pretty crazy. But you know the old saying.
Best guys, Tony Khan.
Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you so much. So yeah, I don't know. We covered all that. So, but here's some more AEW sickos kind of just coping with some stuff. So another normal day for a sad AEW fan. I got tagged in this. Thank you, LC Killer. Oh, I think that was your super chat just now. No, or am I dumb? Yeah. Anyways, you've been in the chat a bunch. Thank you so much. Somebody at Base World, whatever, says, AEW family, we need to show the feds we are better and need to buy every all-in tickets to help us beat WWE. Please show at Tony Khan the support he needs, as he does everything for us and the wrestling community. Sometimes we gotta pop out and show the feds they ain't like us. It's like, no, don't bring Kendrick into this. Kendrick, no, that's not what's happening. Okay. But also, like, who's doing WWE World? Who's doing these events where WrestleMania or SummerSlam rolls in to a town, and then they have like the Undertaker show and fucking Sami Zayn and friends, and fucking Damian Priest is doing a one-man show, and like who's doing all this? It's not AEW. Now, I'm not saying they're not out there grinding and like doing media, and they're not at Comic-Con and stuff like that, but there's no fan experience or service like what WWE offers or provides. And like, they just have it down. Now you can be like, 40 years to 5 years, whatever, but you talk all that shit, you got to be ready to take a hit when everybody wants to laugh at you for fucking up. And I don't know, these tweets are weird. This guy's probably a bot account, and bot as in like a robot, and also bot as in like probably a fucking money exchange. And now on Dynamite, they're announcing Swerve is taking on Wheeler Yuta this Wednesday. Yeah, I'll be sure to tune in. I'll be sure to tune in for that.
Can I ask, did you see if Swerve won against Ishii? Because of course he
beat
did.
him, obviously. Yeah, he beat him, and then they said, and he's taking on Yuta on Dynamite.
Listen, man, Ishii's legacy is getting ruined in AEW, and I hate it. And he is no longer like that Stone Pitbull that when he looks at you, you know you fucked up. Now when he looks at you, it's like, oh, it's Ishii. Like, oh my god, poor Ishii. By the way, some people said that it was a good trade-off because in the G1 we got Konosuke, and then for the summer we have Ishii. That's not a trade-off. Like, what is wrong with people?
Yeah, and you talked about too how Konosuke walked into Japan and just like beat everybody too, right? Like, wasn't that
like, I went viral over on the Threads app because they didn't like what I said, because I didn't understand how Konosuke comes in on night 1 and defeats Yoda Tsuji, when New Japan Pro Wrestling did a documentary about Tsuji and his life and his mom and his ambitions, his goals, and they put it out the day before the press conference for the G1, and the G1 night 1. Here comes Konosuke, beats him, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then Konosuke,
it's a talent exchange, I swear.
Right? And then Konosuke ends up beating Jeff Cobb, who is the NJPW TV champion. And then Konosuke also beats Hinare, my other buddy, who is the never openweight champion. And then Yuya Uemura, who was in TNA and tag team with Joe Hendry, ends up beating Konosuke. And I was like, what does Yuya have that these three don't have, and two of them are champions? And then people got mad at me, and then I made a video about it, and quiet, like always. But it's still like, guys, Konosuke has not done anything else outside of DDT Pro. And then going over to AEW, and then coming over to New Japan Pro Wrestling. So like, I don't get it. This guy doesn't really take the selling to where it needs to sell. Like, it bothers me. It really does.
No doubt. Ooh, you can tell, but it's good passion. It's and ladies and gentlemen, Thirstlander's out there right now. Thirstatlander. Everyone get your cups. Her thing's thangin' with that outfit right now. So gotta put that over. Thirstcast, what's up? Anyways, so AEW Defender again. He gets 2 strikes on the show here. Ricky Starks was not a drop ball. Speaking of, like, you know, talents just getting the shit end of the stick when on AEW side of things. So this is criticism of Ricky, and I'm sitting here going, #free Ricky, man. God damn it. Like, this guy, I can't wait till he goes to WWE. Observers saying it. Oh, it's believed he's going. Tony, just let him out of his contract.
Right?
He was talking all that shit. Oh, we're not going to be like the Federation. The evil Federation. And dude, you let him out of his contract then. You guys are talking all that shit when all these wrestlers were in WWE and wanted out, and now the grass isn't greener. And Ricky Starks, good on AEW taking a chance on him, you know.
Yeah.
And Starks isn't ever going to bury them, and they should have fucking rode his wave, but they didn't because they're dumb. I keep saying there too. I don't mean there. It's just Tony. It's just
The best guys, Tony Khan.
so, like, I don't mean any of the I love the wrestlers, bro. I love the people backstage. I swear to God, they're probably all busting their ass, but it's got to be just, I don't know, man. It's got to be frustrating. And I mean, when you're getting paid a lot, I know some of these frustrations can sort of take the back seat. I'm sure a lot of people just go, bite down. Like, I could be fucking working somewhere else or something. But anyways, though, this guy saying Ricky Starks was not a dropped ball. Yes, he was. He was the one dude you could have said that's an AEW original who's over, that people love, da-da-da-da. He can sports entertain, etc. But Ricky was the number 1 heel on Collision, feuding with Punk and Danielson. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. When Starks got hurt, they made him a manager to keep him on TV, followed by a tag title run. Sure. Yep, that's awesome. WrestleMania got him. Cody Rhodes is a talent poacher and AEW's number 1 weakness.
Oh, God.
WrestleMania got him. You mean he was there watching Cody? He's been on WWE TV before as a fucking guy, as like a jobber backstage guy, you know? I know the jobber thing is out. I know people don't like that term and everyone's getting fucking triggered by that. Sorry, it's just in the vernacular, and I'm fucking Phil Marks, so I'm a Mark, right? According to Meltzer, Mark is the N-word. So let's that's what he literally said. So that's all I'm fucking saying. Hey guys, let's not go there, okay? Phil S. Marks. Shop smart, shop S smart. But when Starks got hurt, they made him a manager to keep him on TV. Yeah, but that doesn't mean he was booked in a good situation. He also broke his neck. It doesn't mean that, like, just slapping a tag belt on him or the backstage bullshit and then keep his stop pushes, they're not all due to injuries. Like, he's been like on TV, then he's just not there. There's no follow-up. He's a tag champ, he loses the belt, then he's just disappeared. Like, that's not on him. Like, talent are notoriously, I don't know, you all were on Ricky Starks nuts, now you fucking hate him, and it's just so telling. And yeah, I'm just getting sick and tired of seeing the same thing happening where, like, you know, they shit on Natalia. They love Natalia. Oh, she resigns with WWE. Shit on Natalia. We love Shane because he met with Tony in an airport. We fucking love Ricky Starks. He's one of our guys. He should be one of the pillars and shit. That's what you guys are saying. That's fuck. I would even say it too. I'd say if you're gonna call someone a pillar, fucking Starks coulda, shoulda, woulda been one of them. But you guys are saying he's a pillar now. Oh no, WrestleMania got him. Like, dude, come on. Yeah, WrestleMania gets everyone. That's why they all are wrestlers everywhere in the world. WrestleMania got Tony Khan. That's why he wants to be in the pro wrestling business and run fucking Wembley. You know, so it's just, yeah, it's just crazy. just some of the copium, we see time and time again. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Ricky Starks and this whole situation now? They're trashing him, and the Observer and everyone's saying he's headed to WWE. It's a done deal, pretty much. Like, as soon as his contract.
I mean, let him go to WWE. He'll shine a lot more better. You could tell Ricky Starks is the kind of wrestler that like wants to wrestle, wants to create stories, wants to create some controversies with the things that he says. So let him go to WWE, and if he starts in NXT, those rivalries are going to be pretty cool. And he could just hone a lot of things, and then when he gets to the main roster, he'll be good. Let him go to WWE, because it's really unfortunate and unfair that when someone goes to AEW, the fans that are left over really think that they're going to be loyal to the very end. If you know anything about this wrestling business, no one is truly loyal. You have the few that are loyal, but no one is truly loyal, because money speaks more than anything else, because we have to survive somehow.
Yeah, no amount of Tony Khan hugs will
Yeah, right.
Can amount to anything. But yeah, so people are saying, oh, they're going to turn on the Lucha Bros. Yeah, they absolutely are. We'll talk about that more in a second. But the fan base, like AIR Gold, here he is again, another two-shotter here. Him and Defender both, back-to-back appearances here on the same episode.
Yeah.
But AIR Gold saying depreciating returns for AEW Grand Slam have to be concerning. And yeah, dude, let's look at the Grand Slam numbers here. In 2021, they drew 20,000 people. 2022, 13,000. 2023, 11,000. 2024, 3,000. Meanwhile, WWE's done the exact opposite the last 4 years. If you look at the numbers, it's fucking gone up and up and up and up. And again, it's not like, well, look at WWE, but that's what they do. That's what you're always said, the Federation, triple nose, all this bullshit, bald assholes. Tony Khan said it. So it's like you reap what you sow, man. You guys are putting out that bad juju, and this is what's happening in AEW, man. You've turned people off. I swear the fans are a big part of this like they're a big part of it, just how toxic they get over a lot of this shit. It's spawned demons like Neckbeards here, who we're going to get into during our Dave Meltzer dumb moment of the week in a bit. But yeah, just more, I don't know, the sickos. Yeah. So I think I might have a couple more on that, and then we can transition into, so Tony Khan here goes, I think AEW is a great company, and there are a lot of people out there that don't want to see it succeed and spend a lot of time trying to stop it. But that's the fight that basically every challenger wrestling promotion has fought for decades.
No, that's totally wrong.
Yeah, I don't see it that way. I don't see it as people wanted to succeed. I see it as the opposite, Tony. I see that everyone wanted you to succeed, and then you fumbled the shit so badly, so many opportunities, so much goodwill with everyone, that basically now that it's turned around and everyone's like, dude, you pretty much sold a bill of goods, right? Like pretty much everyone's like, man, you, Meltzer, everyone, you're fucking
Liar! Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar! Liar!
So that's basically what it is. I think people feel sort of slapped in the face when because especially Tony was like, we're going to listen to the people and like we're for the people type shit. And then he didn't listen to the people. He didn't listen. He listened to like a core group of people that isn't going to be, I don't know, like, I've said it a million times. Don't run these big ass buildings and embarrass yourself and say you're a challenger brand to what? You're a challenger to TNA, bro. More than it's a discussion between you and TNA and like MLW now, and that's not a knock on any of them. That's actually patting them on the back that you have all the money and goodwill in the world, and in 5 years you were able to fucking somehow pull off this, get in this situation you're in, and somehow, some fucking way, you got TNA like putting on better aesthetic and drawing fucking good houses and shit. I don't know, man. It's crazy, dude. He had all the goodwill. He fumbled it. That's what it is, Tony. It's just so many
Yep.
Missed opportunities and wasted opportunities that now people just don't want to fuck with you, and now you're playing victim. When at the start, there's no way you could possibly ever try and say you were a victim. Everyone had your back. Even people in WWE were saying, even Bischoff said they were in WWE, like behind the scenes rooting for you guys, like watching it excited, like, holy shit, we're going to have to step our game up and shit. Like, that's what you sparked. And then after fucking 3 years, it became, and you can say petty shots all you want. Tony was on TNA TV taking shots at WWE. And what did TNA get to show for it? Nothing.
Yep.
We covered it extensively on the show, and just him crying victim now. You know, it's crazy. It's just disappointing, and this is why people don't fuck with you, dude. Really, at the end of the day.
You should check out the super chat because I am a little shocked.
Thank you. Thank you for pointing it out because I was not. George Captor for $5 says, Phil, are you going to be okay? Ibu made his X account private. Oh,
That's
dude. I'm going to be perfectly fine. Ibu, I never go out of my way to cover that dude. I don't care. He's not in like my rotation of like sheets that I really give a shit about, but he always pops up everywhere and people share shit about him. So you can't avoid it and he made his account private.
That's like
listen,
a whoa.
Listen, I don't if people, I don't know the circumstance. If people were like being like sick and gross and coming at him, okay, then that's terrible. Like I don't condone any of that. But if it was just like from catching the heat of like I don't know, block people, man. If people are being fucked up, just block them. Like there's no shame in using that block button. It's there for a reason. It's not like they won. When people are like, if you block me, that means I won. No, it means you're a dumbass more than likely. If I blocked you, dude, it means you're fucking stupid. And like I can't even fathom the level. I'm like, holy shit, I'm gonna lose IQ points looking at your fucking. No, I'm a dumbass. So like that's not saying much. So no, but all jokes aside, like I don't know. I hope no one was being like weird to him or anything. Because I've gotten weird DMs too, and I don't like that shit. But I think this all ties into the soft ground wrestling thing, does it not, Marie? Like, can you shed light on that? Like,
I mean, I don't think between Ebu and soft ground wrestling, I don't think that has anything to do with it because I have Ebu blocked because I just couldn't take I couldn't take his weird wrestling takes, and I'm like, bro, you're writing an essay and it doesn't make sense half the time. But that's just me. But for soft ground wrestling, like at first, it could have been like a noble kind of journey to give money and help out, but like relationships between the US and Uganda, you really can't really give money like that because Uganda doesn't want help from anybody from the United States. So it's even difficult to send money over there. But it could have been a very, worthy cause if it went through the proper channels. But to first raise like the 10K and then not really do anything with it, except for to try to get a ring that never really came. And then to continue to ask people that went over there, so like wrestlers who went over there to do GoFundMes, like right after the fact. We're just trying to figure out, like, bro, why do you keep asking for money if nothing's really like showing up like you say is going to show up?
Right.
So,
and I read this thing. I'm going to get into it with Duke tomorrow, like really in depth and thoroughly. But yeah, I read that whole story, and there was more to it than that too. Like apparently, like, oh, this money's going towards these facilities, but they already have these facilities. But I just want to sticking on the topic of Ibu though. I don't know why he privated then. I thought him and like a bunch of sheet people and like Fightful, and I have the tweets I can pull them up to where we'll cover it on tomorrow's pod, which will come out Monday. Time cop. But I thought he privated because a bunch of these sheets are getting heat because they sort of went at like the public and basically they were like going at people like, I can't believe there's people saying that like soft ground Uganda could be some sort of scam and stuff. So I thought Ibu was a part of that. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I don't know if someone could inform me why Ibu privated. I don't know. I hope it's nothing serious. But as far as his takes go, yeah, I mean, what do you guys want me to say? We laugh at it. We've had a bunch of laughs at it. He blocked me a long time ago just because I quote tweeted and laughed. I think I was just like LMAO, and this guy's the biggest Tony Khan stan or something. About, like the video of like Tony Khan just walking right past Ibu. And like, I don't know. I just, and I'm not hating even really. Like I never really, I always saw his wrestling takes, and I don't know, that shit doesn't trigger me if someone has like a weird wrestling take. like different than mine, and I usually don't go too fucking gross unless I see they're like a gross account. But I don't know why he privated his shit. Hopefully he's all good, but I'm gonna make it, dude. Don't worry about me. I got other super chats here. Jamie Earhart for $5. Get a Conan. The next documentary will be the victimization of Tony Khan.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
Yeah, dude. One day if they sell to AEW or to WWE, there'll be like a rise and fall of AEW DVD or something like that. Not DVD, but Netflix will produce the doc or something. Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for the super chat. And do they even have? Yeah, the next series will be like Tony. I wish he had his own reality show. Like All Access was. I know it was so cringe, but it was one of the best. Like I love watching cringe stuff and just like laughing at it. So I'm like addicted to it. So I think maybe that's why I watch AEW as frequently as I still do. But they need a Tony Khan reality show. It would make $1 million fucking dollars. Which would go to the Young Bucks and wouldn't amount to anything. But you ain't hyped for $2 says AEW won't make it past 2025. What say you, bruv? Dude, no, I disagree. I think it'll be around forever. It'll be like TNA 2.0. He'll sell it. Maybe WWE absorbs it one day. Maybe he'll never sell it. He'll just hang on to it, put it on an app. He'll make the AEW network, or he'll put it on fucking some shittier lower tier network, or he'll I just think he'll let it live forever. Like TNA survived for a long time. I think Tony will do the same thing till it's on the Pop Network or whatever, and he'll be forced to run it out of like a theme park, and it'll just become like no one will take him serious, and he'll be forced to stop spending as much on it. But if it folds, then I'm wrong, and I'll willingly go, okay, I'm wrong about that. But I just think, like, imagine you're a kid with his type of infinite money, and then one day too, like his dad's like, oh, I wanted to give him his like inheritance or whatever. But like if his dad does pass, and not that I'm like wishing or thinking that on anybody, but I'm just saying that if that were to happen, let's say like in 10, 20 years, like then he gets all that money too, like because there's more than just what is in what his dad allotted him. For sure there is. And like to me, I just think he has buku money, man. He has infinite money, dude. So it's like if you had infinite money, and like if I had infinite money, like I wouldn't be doing this. Like actually, I don't know, I'd maybe still do this just because it's fun. But like if you have buku money, like you don't want to, I'd be doing like things I want to do too, but it would just be like, I don't know. I'd have like an epic gaming center and all of this stuff. I'd have like a warehouse I go to for gaming and like to watch fights and shit. Like they would be like things like that. I'd indulge in that. Tony's indulging in wrestling. So when does he stop indulging in wrestling? When the money goes away. When does it go away? Never. He's got enough money for fucking 7 lifetimes, dude. Maybe not that many at the rate he spends it, but I don't know. If he has to sell one day, I think maybe WWE absorbs it or something just so they can get Ring of Honor. It would be more of their focus, and the tape library of like all the guys who went there for a bit and like are going to go there. You know, I could see that happening one day, but at the same time, I just I hope it doesn't die. I want to see the Monday Night Wars again, but it's never going to happen the way Tony's doing it. Now, remember, WCW is in the shits. Eric Bischoff took it over, and then he rose it like a phoenix. Took him like four years or whatever to do it. It can happen in like 10 years from now. AEW could, but that could also be TNA. There could come a time where TNA is like, yeah, fuck WWE. Like we're not working with them anymore, and now we're the number 2 or something. Could happen. We don't know. That's a future time telling. But Marie, do you ever see AEW going out of business entirely?
Nah, I think that they're gonna go the route of like TNA, where eventually he's gonna have to sell, and then and when I say sell, I don't mean like, you know, completely go under business and stuff like that. I mean like to sell it to somebody to make sure that they could get out of the red. Because I always say this, money does not really grow on trees. Like his inheritance money, and then whatever money he makes from everything else, like that's eventually gonna go. Those guaranteed contracts are gonna fuck up everything. They're gonna fuck up the books, and they're gonna make everything uneven and unbalanced. So I don't think that they are going to you know, die off. I do think that Tony Khan being smart, and if he gets pushed into a corner, he's gonna be like, yo, we gotta sell to somebody that has the funds to keep everything running.
LC Killer 17 for $2 says Tony Khan is back on the Jeff Hardy magic
The
dust.
best guys, Tony Khan.
This is great.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I don't know. What do you want me to say, LC Killer? I can't really. YouTube, you know what I'm saying, bro? These jokes are for I need a Rumble show or something, but yeah, you need someone. Mark A. Hicks 2. Thank you for this comment. Says, but who is the Eric Bischoff you're going to bring into AEW? I don't know. I wouldn't even say Jim Cornette. I wouldn't even go as far to say that. I think it wouldn't be one person. It would be a team of people. And the problem is that Tony Khan would always want to have his booking. It's certainly not Meltzer. So that's for goddamn certain. But speaking of more like Cope, I guess, from IWC. Well, we talked about Ricky Starks, actually, though. So numerous sources within WWE stated there are certainly interest in a number of AEW stars whose deals are close to expiring or have been off TV for some time. Those stars include Ricky Starks, Daniel Garcia, and Lucha Brothers, and others. Yeah, we're good on Daniel Garcia, bro, in the Fed. But some Wrestling Mark 16. Right, this guy's like, I've had this fool blocked because he's psychotic, but he goes, AEW fans need to stop turning on people who have one bad thing to say about the company. I fucking love the place, but it's not beyond criticism or suggestions for improvement. Funny, Wrestling Mark, because that's what you spurred out on me for, was fucking criticizing AEW just a year and a half before your fucking brain clicked on to what I've been saying, before you penetrated your cognitive dissonance bubble there, dude. So yeah, great. I love these people coming to this realization, you know, and I'm happy, more of them. But yeah, that's just another dude finally pointing the shit out.
Are we going to talk about the Dave Messer thing where he talked about the Angle show and talked about that match right there that you just passed neckbeard? Because, oh God.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna bring that up, but that'll be in our Dave Meltzer segment, so we'll get around to it. Don't worry. And I know you got a lot to say about that, which I can't wait for. So Conan talks about Conan. Can we get a Conan in the chat? Conan. He talked about an issue with Britt Baker and Cody Rhodes' wife. Ooh, one of the reasons that Cody left, amongst many, was there was problems between Brandy and Britt. Tony always takes Britt's side. You'll find out one day. Oh shit. Marie, what are your thoughts on that? You and I dove deep into the Britt Baker stuff previously on PWT podcast, but yeah, let the good live listeners here know your thoughts on the Britt situation. And apparently one of the major reasons they left was because of Brandy and Britt.
You know, one day I would like Britt to really just do a tell-all podcast like on her own with like no other co-host, so that way, you know, it could just be straight up truth and nothing else. Because for someone that says that, you know, the internet as a whole ends up taking a story and running with it and creating all these big rumors and stuff like that, you know, they really don't know anything, right? Well, you know, once and for all, I think that she has to like really come clean to be like, I did this, I didn't do this. This is my side. This is how it went down. This is not how it went down. So that way she doesn't get the reputation of being the mean girl that we always see and we always grow up with in any environment that we're in. In like high school, you got the girl that is always the mean girl and stuff like that. Like, I wish that she can, you know, clear any baggage to her name, because it's wrong. Nobody should have that type of baggage if it's not true. You know what I mean? But the other thing too is that like I want to know all the juicy information as well, but I also want to know the truth. You know, she does have the look of like, you know, being a mean girl, but it could just be a character, and then people just go with it. And then if they stop leaking stuff out to Uncle Dave for him to start shit, you know, I think it'll be a lot better of an environment. I just think that, you know, it's 50-50 with Britt. She could be that mean girl, or she could just be playing it up.
Her
You know
name keeps popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
Like she's gotta be. There's heat there for like where there's smoke, there's fire. As far as like I don't know, man. I'm not even like, okay, maybe it's also, maybe she's misunderstood. You know, I'm not just saying write her off and she's a menace and like, don't bring her into the fight. Like I say, get her in WWE. She'd get better at working and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm always down with people going through the WWE system a little bit, but my whole thing is just her name keeps popping up with people. Conan would know he's there. Conan, why would he fucking just make up this hot news? You know, like he would actually fucking say the truth, in my opinion, when it comes, like he benefits nothing from just saying this. Oh, hits on his podcast. He has other shit to talk about. You know what I mean? He has all this other stuff he's been right about too. Like it's not like all this stuff he talks about, he's wrong when he leaks this backstage shit. He was right about Santana Ortiz having a fight, all that stuff. He's always talked about the turmoil and has kept it real, keeping it 100, as they say. So I just don't think he'd say this for no reason. And it makes sense too. Like, I don't know. It makes sense. Britt's rubbing people the wrong way. In that reality show, I don't think you see Britt and Brandy cross paths whatsoever. And yeah, I don't know. It totally makes sense when you think about it. Like someone's wife being like disrespected too. That's what MJF was punching walls about. Alicia Tout being dissed, or him being dissed to Alicia Tout, whatever the fuck. He's punching walls over it. So Cody didn't punch a wall. He just said, yeah, fuck it, I'm out. And this is one of the many reasons. And Conan's saying you'll find out one day. Hopefully there's a time limit on that NDA. I'm a poet and didn't know it. Yeah. Let me myself here. But while we're talking about the Lucha Brothers, they have trademarked the names King Fuego and Rey Fuego for entertainment services. So they're probably going to be called the Fuego Brothers, or maybe the Lucha Bros, but they're just called King and Rey. I'm assuming, right? Because the thing is, like, Pentagon, like someone owns that. So the only version of it he could do was Penta El Zero Miedo. Right. Yeah. That's why they had to change his name to that. So he can't, I don't think he can just be Penta. I don't think he can be Pentagon. I don't think he can be Pentagon Jr. So like what does he become? Penta Fuego, or just King Fuego, Rey Fuego, Rey and King? Maybe, I don't know. It is what it is. I think that's kind of fucking silly, to be honest. But at the same time, they're going to sell a babillion masks. They got to market this shit. They do, bro. You know, WWE knows what they're doing. Obviously, they signed off on these names too. Obviously, the marks are going to know. I'm surprised. What I thought, I was just like, they should just call them like Penta and Phoenix, the Lucha Bros or the Lucha Brothers, but I think they can't use Penta is the problem, like just by itself. Someone else owns it. But because to me, when you have Rey Mysterio and then Rey Phoenix or Rey Fuego, I'm like, damn, having both Reys in the mask, that's a little, I didn't think WWE would go for that. So I was like, they'll just call him Phoenix, like the same way Andrade is just Andrade. He's not Andrade Cien Almas. He's not Andrade Almas. He's not Andrade El Idolo. He's just Andrade now. I'm like, if they just call him Phoenix and Penta or Pentagon, that would probably work. But I don't know. They're going to be called King Fuego and Rey Fuego. And I'm not going to sit here and like boo on it. Maybe it has time to win me over. But for now, I'm like, dude, King Fuego.
You what?
Come on now. That sounds like fucking, I don't know. That sounds like an Angel Garza gimmick or something. Like, I don't know. Sorry, you go ahead.
I just think that because, you know, obviously both of them are Mexican, they went the spiritual route in a way. It's kind of funny if you want to translate it. So you'll have King Fire, and then for Rey Fuego, it's King Fire. So it's the same thing.
Oh, maybe that's what they're doing. So Rey is king?
In Spanish, like, you know, so like whenever Rey Mysterio talks about the name Rey, Rey translates to king.
Oh my God. See, that's why Marie's here. Bro, number one pod, like no one's pointing that out. They're all just boo-booing on it. I was boo-booing on it. Marie comes in, fucking Shaq dunks on everyone. It's King Fuego and King Fuego.
Yeah.
Dude, no, that's
Fire,
genius.
King Fire.
Bro, that's actually kind of genius how they were able to play off of it that way. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I love that. I actually do like that. Now it's over with me. See, that's all it took, because they were able to go, like, because Ray's name is Ray, and then Penta's got to change his no matter what, because it's like, just fuck the whole, he can't be Penta El Zero Miedo in WWE.
Yeah.
You got to drop that shit, and you got to come up with something. So this was clever on their end, and you just pointed it out. That's like some spiritual heritage shit, or like family name shit. I love that. Boom, you just nailed it.
Which,
That's
by
perfect.
the way, to further that, it has to be REY to like mean king. If it's like RAY, like a regular Ray, that like short for like Raymond, it doesn't have a translation. But in Spanish culture, if you have REY, it's translation to king.
REY Mysterio.
Yeah,
Here
see?
we go.
So basically, you every time that we say Rey Mysterio, if you want to like do the translation just because you want to be fancy, it's King Mysterio or King Mysterious in a way, you know?
Yes, dropping bombs. You ain't hype for $5. TNA has a real chance of being number 2. AEW, unless they correct themselves, will fall in the ranks. It's hard to say overall. WWE is on fire at the moment. Yeah, absolutely. It's white hot. And that's just what I think will happen. Like, we're going to see TNA and MLW really start to blow up more. And, and then we'll see it be more of a competition with that. And I wish New Japan were in that discussion too, but as long as they fuck with AEW, it's not really going to happen. And we covered on the last show too, a clip dropped there where CMLL was saying that they're really happy with AEW's business over there and they're selling out shows. And that's exactly it though. AEW sending their people there, and then they're doing good business in Mexico, but then it's not doing good business. Tony Khan's booking like these CMLL guys over pushing fucking his big luchador signings, right? Like Ray and Penta, they had a feud between them. They had them reigning as tag champs, them in a trios champ scenario. They had all of that lined up in the palm of their hands. They fumble it. Ray Phoenix can do everything Commander can do times 10, in my opinion. Ray Phoenix, one of the best fucking luchas in the world. And Penta, I know he does that silly like Cero, Miedo stuff, and some people boo-boo on it, but dude, he knows how to get over, and he does character work. Like he knows, he's just been over in every company he's been in. And then except for AEW, pretty much, you know what I mean? Like, so like, and he was over there because of his other shit, but he wasn't like, he's not, I don't know. It's just watch what these guys do in WWE, selling masks, the merch. Watch what they do when WWE starts expanding with them and Vacquer into when they have NXT Mexico lined up or whatever they have going on. Just wait and see like what they do with these guys and what AEW failed to do with these guys. But yeah, if TNA becomes number 2, good. And with guys like Joe Hendry, I mean, and Nick Nemeth over there, it's happening. Somebody in the chat says it's Mystery King is what that's what she said, bro.
But basically it's just a grammar thing to just replace it that way. But yeah, I'm half Spanish, guys.
Yes. Check out the pod I did with Marie like a few fucking, I don't know, however many ago. Yeah. And then I'm always on the air. I fucking, they all bleed together sometimes, but yeah, we did that show and it was phenomenal. And she breaks all that down. I think it was episode like 72, I think, or something like that. So AEW stuff, let's see what else I got. And then we'll circle into some sheet stuff and then we'll play some flutes. The soft ground Uganda stuff, guys, I'm doing that tomorrow with Duke. So I know you guys see it in there. I know you guys see Sap. I know you guys see some stuff. Ignore it for now. And I'm going to dive into that and you'll get to hear that. Cause we have a dude firsthand who's like sort of in the middle of calling people out and stuff as well. So Duke, and shout him out. Duke Loves Wrestling is his show. Make sure you check that out. And he was the guy who was with Devon when Devon sort of shot all over Will Washington. I covered that on the show already. So the soft ground stuff, no one's gonna cover the shit like I am. And Marie, I mean, I'm sure you could join too. If Duke's down or whatever, if you want to talk more, shed more light on it. But yeah, Duke's gonna come on and break that all down. I'm looking forward to that.
Listen, I would say this. I'm gonna let Duke get his spotlight because he deserves it. He does amazing work, not only for like doing the soft ground wrestling thing, but like his interviews are top shelf.
Yeah.
And I, on my show too, I do play like his interviews and stuff like that. So I would like your fans to hear him first. And if we ever get to collaborate where it's like all three of us, I'll be down for it. But I want to give him his spotlight, his flowers.
Absolutely. Okay, that sounds great. And yeah, we'll set that up where us three all tangle like the week after, maybe on the weekend or something like that. But either way, yeah, so Meltzer, we already covered it, like the Olympic cope and all that stuff. And then Raj Giri tweeted out Raw was way down from usual, and he's responding to Meltzer. And he goes, Raw was way down from usual. It was the second best 18 to 49 rating they've done this year. And yes, it would have been even higher if they were on USA. The Olympics have a small effect on it, other than it caused it to be moved to Sci-Fi. Even so, it was their best demo rating for a post SummerSlam episode in 3 years. And then Eric Bischoff said, do you believe this clown? He gets desperately more obvious by the hour. And that's in response to Dave as well. I didn't play a flute because that's sort of old news. The whole Raw was down. We already covered that to death, beat it to death. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of throw that in there. And then, yeah, Raj says, are we bringing up that AEW didn't beat the secondary events on USA? Raj is all over that ass, Dave. And no diddy. But speaking of WWE and AEW, I like this video as well. This is Wilkins. Let's just play this because I didn't notice this till I saw this video. Then we're going to play our flutes. I got a couple more little tidbits. And then I got Stevie Richards absolutely destroyed Triple H in a video that I'm going to play for you guys too in a minute. And then we're going to play flutes, get into Dave. And thank you guys for hanging out with me. You could have been anywhere on this beautiful Saturday night. There's like hundreds of you hanging out with us tonight. And I appreciate you, Marie, for being here. And on Collision, we got Juice in a, I think it's it's Juice and the Guns with Christian as the ref and a turtleneck. So he's doing like a flashy ref outfit the way Rollins did. Tony Khan's like, oh yeah, we're going to copy WWE. I swear that's what they're doing. Like they did it with Dustin Rhodes after the Cody WrestleMania. They had Dustin Rhodes on TV all of a sudden. Oh yeah, I have him on my roster. And so, yeah, it's the Bullet Club Gold, I guess, the Bang Bang Gang against House of Black. And I love everyone in this match and I want them all in WWE. That's all I'll say. Sorry, what were you going to say, Marie?
No, I'm just like, go ahead, dude. it's AEW.
Yeah. Let's play this video, though. My man Rollins is diabolical, so I didn't notice this. Hangman Rollins. Now, honestly, I know a lot of people shit on Hangman. Again, I'm not the biggest like hater of the dude in the world. Like if he was in WWE, I think they'd know how to present him in a way to help get him over, especially with his skills. He is skilled in the ring and stuff. But him and Rollins, man, that's a match I would like to see, honestly, if we were to ever see a crossover. A lot of people might boo-boo at that, but this is a match I'd watch the shit out of. But listen to what Sir Wilkins had to say. Pointed this out brilliantly.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy Sir Wilkins here, and I hope all is well. Behind me is Seth freaking Rollins, dressed very much like Hangman Adam Page from AEW. This is a really phenomenal reference right here. And the reason why I say that is because Hangman Adam Page had a feud with CM Punk when CM Punk was in AEW. And now Seth Rollins is dressed up just like him.
Yeah, and also Punk called him an empty-headed dumb fuck. Adam Page.
Yeah.
And called him fucking dumb. And so this Sir Wilkins is much more polite than I, but I'll speak like a sailor for him.
Dressed up like a man who hates CM Punk. And absolutely, I must say this. This man, Seth Rollins, is absolutely diabolical. He is a beast when it comes to these little bits of details with his outfits. And you gotta love it. His pageantry has been absolutely amazing, and this is why he's the drip god of professional wrestling.
Woo! Let's go, the drip god. He is, dude. He's a drippy god for sure.
Seth Rollins is taking the extra step when it comes to his gear, and you gotta give him a round of applause for that. But this outfit, the whole feel of his outfit, is straight diabolical.
Yeah, dude. Seth and I love that video, dude. Seth and Drew have been cooking Punk, man, big time. I love it. Marie, do you follow Do you follow Noah N1? Well, she'll answer for you, but let me pipe in for 1 second here. She explained it on the pod, guys. So go and check out. She was putting over the N1 on episode fucking 71 or 72 of PWT Pod. I implore you, if you haven't yet, go and check that out. And Marie's draw, dude, really good hits. Not even gonna lie. So that's over at the @ProWrestleTimes channel. It's not the Clips channel, it's the other one. But Marie, tell them about the Noah N1 and tell them what our boy from NXT is doing over there.
So I do follow it. I've been missing, making my own content about the N1, but the N1 is basically Noah's G1 Climax, like what New Japan Pro Wrestling has. It is a round robin style tournament where wrestlers compete in A block and B block, a total of like 10 people each. So that's 20 altogether, and they win by points. So for every either pin and or submission, they get 2 points. If they get a count out, it counts as 1 point each to the wrestlers. If they get disqualified, no points. Currently right now, what's his name? Briggs is doing well. And Tavion Heights. Oh
Tavion
my
Heights.
God. There was a video of Tavion Heights doing this beautiful, unique belly to belly, even though it's a simple belly to belly, but he added his own little thing to it. And I was like, bro, that is fantastic. I've just been currently behind on making content for the N1. So eventually I'll get that content out for everyone so I could like actually review it and watch it. But I try my very, very best to try to follow all of wrestling that we cover.
So Tavion Heights, he won a gold medal, or what
Yeah.
medal did he win in the Olympics?
I think it was close to a gold medal.
What did he win? Or he won the Pan American men's games, or maybe I have the wrong guy. I'm not sure, but Tavion Heights, dude.
You have the right guy. I just need to do a little bit more research to like confirm with you what it was, but I know it was like in that league, maybe a gold medal.
Yeah, so he's like up there for like a real dude, and he's in the N1 doing work like a year off of that. He like won a fucking medal. I'm not sure if it's the Olympics, whatever, but like just coming off of that, a few years off that, I believe he's now pulling a Kurt Angle, So yeah, so that's awesome, and he's in the N1 doing work, and yeah, they're sending talent all over the world, man, and that's what's awesome. And these NXT guys as well, it's important. The NIL talent go work indie style, and then the indie guys come in and work the way that they're training the NIL guys up, and then you have the perfect fucking, then they can all feed and learn off each other, and they have the perfect synergy with all of that. Some sad news. Kevin Sullivan has passed away at age 74. Rest in peace. Kevin Sullivan, man, damn, it's sad because we've seen him on shows like Dark Side of the Ring and he's been on Dark Side, he's been on lots of programming, for Vice and WWE and this and I believe he's done some stuff for WWE in recent years, but you see him at like doing podcasts appearances at like WrestleCade, or I can't remember what they're all called, WrestleCon or whatever Conrad Thompson does. Oh, come on now, Phil, you know the name of it. That's not very fair now, Phil. I know you know the name of it. He talked with Eric Bischoff and they destroyed that asshole who wrote that book. So I wasn't around to watch. I didn't grow up watching it. I did. No, like on WCW and stuff, I guess. And I always knew him my entire life. He's one of these dudes where, I've known him my whole life and I consider him a legend. And when you watch the highlights of what he did, clearly ahead of his time, obviously a great mind. Whenever something great in pro wrestling was going on, it seems when they talk about the history of it, he always, whether it's territory or the big times, he always pops up somewhere and says something. He was there, he knows, he's a guy that he told a great story too on one of the Dark Sides about like, the promoter was like, yeah, go and stretch this guy, and then they're like, did you do it? And he's like, hey, I had a family to feed, and so he was a real dude, one of the real ones. And I don't know, just tragic. And no one, again, one of these guys where it doesn't seem like anyone really has anything bad to say about him except for the conspiracies where actually he killed Nancy Benoit and Chris Benoit with the black helicopters. But that aside, I mean, that was the only time I remember that was like a conspiracy where he was really into witchcraft and all that. But obviously not. The dude does podcasts and shit. He's like in his later years. And R.I.P. legend, King, Kevin Sullivan. You know, you're in a better place. Best seats in the house. And yeah, goddamn, it's sad and tragic. And 74, that's a life, man. So yeah, my condolences and just best thoughts and prayers and wishes to the family. And yeah, I don't know if Marie, you got anything to add on to that or?
Not really. I mean, rest in peace to him and his family. Our condolences.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's a glib subject. Yeah. And a sad day for sure. But that's the circle of life, if you will. It's bound to happen to all of us folks. So just call your loved ones, you know, remind them that you love them. I guess, yeah, Collision's over. Am I wrong there? Yeah, so that was whatever. Collision, whatever. Who gives a shit? Yeah, I'm so sorry, House of Black. Get to WWE. You know, Buddy Matthews just re-signed for a while longer. Speaking of re-signing and people signing, over in GCW, we got the Bollywood Boys. Yeah. And we got Jinder Mahal. Yeah. I love all these guys right here. Canada, stand up. And yeah, they are back together in GCW. Raj, the Maharaja, got back together with the Bollywood Boys. And listening to PWT maybe, because I said it. I was like, man, if it's me, put that shit together. They had a WWE title together. Like it worked. People can fucking hate all they want, but honestly, when Jinder won the belt, I was a fan of that shit. People can be like, no, you weren't. Phil the shit. I swear to God, man, I'm such a fan of that shit. Even when The Rock did his fucking promo or whatever, and Jinder came out and that whole segment, I popped hard for that. You can check the Twitter. Like, I'm a fan. So he's back together in GCW with the Bollywood Boys. Here's their little promo. And the Bollywood Boys have been putting in work on the indies just everywhere, grinding since their WWE release. And I don't know, man, they're a solid tag team. They can bump around. They can get thrown on their fucking... Randy Orton would throw these dudes every night on the guardrails and through announce tables and shit. And like, I don't know. I love this. Let's watch their little promo here and shout out GCW for the wrestling content. Controversy outside the ring aside. I don't know about all that shit, but we're...
The Maharaja, Bollywood Boys, Game Changers Wrestling. The last time you seen us, we were the world champion. Now, we take over independent wrestling.
Ooh, Baji, I like the sound of that. The last 3 years, we've been busting our ass. We've been waiting for Big Brother to come in. And guess what? Overshadowed.
I just love this because fucking Jinder, Raj, we'll call him. He leaves WWE and then he's just like elevating these dudes again. Like helping them again who've been out there grinding. I'm telling you, if you follow these guys on socials, they're out there grinding, man. And they get pops too when they're in Canada and AEW would bring them in on like Dark or fucking Rampage or whatever. They'd get pops, man. And I don't know. I just love that like Jinder's or Raj part of me is like putting shine back on these dudes again, like giving back. You know, he doesn't have to do this, but now it's sort of like Cardona with Delander. Like, look at Delander's doing awesome shit in TNA, and Cardona just picked her and just fucking elevated her. He didn't have to do that. Like, then he had to book shows where he was like paying for her to come. Like, now when Jinder does a show, they got to book the Sings now too. But that's what it's all about, man. This is a former WWE champ giving back, not being a bitch, getting after it. I fucking love Jinder. Let's go.
Doesn't matter anymore. We're the Punjabi Boys, and we're taking over GCW, baby. The Punjabi Boys, we come out there, we dance, we bleed, we get our asses kicked, we kick some ass, we get up, we shake it off, and we still get the job done. And now that the three of us, the band is back together, when it's all said and done, Fajis, we're not the type of guys to tell we told you so. What? We told you so.
That promo is so 80s, but I love it.
What's that?
That promo is so 80s because of how the Bollywood Boys have that energy and have that cadence. for like good 80s wrestling promos. It's really, really good. I'm not trying to say that it's bad by me saying that, but it's really good.
Yeah, I enjoy that. I enjoy that old school shit. Yeah, shout them out. They're gonna do good stuff. And yeah, speaking of Canadian wrestling here, so Scott D'Amore has announced that he's reopening Maple Leaf Wrestling, but it's now called Maple Leaf Pro. And I don't know, man. I tweeted to him. I was like, "Happy birthday, Scott! I so look forward to seeing this thrive." And he liked it. Scott D'Amore liked it, and we're effing back. And Jinder Mahal retweeted it. Josh Alexander, because TNA is very Canada based, but I mean, you have like Canadians own it and shit, and they run a lot of shows out of Canada and stuff. And so that's also why I bat for them really hard. But now Maple Leaf Pro, that I'm going to leave here at the side for hopefully as long as I can for the duration of the show, because I want to promote the shit out of it. And I tweeted out, dude, I want to be a part of this any way I can. So I'm just going to fucking put this over. You guys are going to have to hear Maya Boot and Canuck ass putting over Maple Leaf Pro. When they're near me, I'm going to go to shows. I'm going to do anything I can. I'll fucking throw them. I'll throw them $100 for a little banner or some shit hanging. So whatever I got to do to be, I want in on this. This is amazing. And yeah, I fucking love this so much. Just more Canadian wrestling. There's so much good like Canadian indies as well. And I don't know. This is just Scott D'Amore helped get TNA hot again, and he's got a lot of money. He's got buku bucks, not Tony Khan bucks, but fucking, I don't know, man. This thing isn't going to be no slouch promotion. MLP, I'm all about it. And yeah, we had Jinder. We had a bunch of big names already retweeting. Like, I can't wait. This is a monumental moment. So they're going to, I don't know, hopefully put on some great shows. And I'm excited. I don't know. What say you, Marie? Are you excited when little things like this pop up? Do you have faith that Scott D'Amore could maybe recreate a TNA? Maybe it becomes a TNA level promotion, or who knows, right? He has good connections and stuff like that. So he wanted to just buy TNA outright. So obviously he's confident he could run one of these things. So what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I will keep an eye on it because it's something different, something interesting. I'm happy that he started his own promotion up in Canada. Canada needs more promotions because I don't know who else is out there. And it's good work for everyone involved.
Yeah, like that's what I'm all about too. More work at like a higher level. It'll still be a good level. Like as far as it won't just be like bottom of the barrel shit. And he obviously has his hands in a lot of the creative. You know, we had Killer Kelly on the show, and she said, you know, he obviously was like the final boss in TNA. Actually, no, that's Mako Satomura, but yeah, but yeah, he was he was like the guy who basically had his fingerprint on most of on a lot of the stuff, rather, you know, or he had the final say on it. So yeah, let's hopefully he does some, hopefully they're on like Triller and shit. Hopefully it's filmed. Hopefully it doesn't look like OVW. No shots at OVW. Watch OVW a lot. Throw it on YouTube all the time. But I'm just saying, you know, they need some goddamn cameras and stuff too. If I live near Ohio, I'd be trying to get involved in that as best I could. But I'm not trying to like pull I want to get in the ring, but I just want to like do what I can, dude. I'll cut a fucking promo. I don't know. Whatever I got to do. Scott D'Amore, if you're listening, I don't fucking know. I would love to just, I don't know. I'm going to shout this out. I'm going to review the shows. And if it's trash, it's trash. Hey, but it's already featuring stars. Yeah. Like Raj Desi, Walking Weapon. So that's Josh Alexander, Giselle Shaw, Kushida's going to be there. Shout out fucking Kushida. And then we got Jonathan Gresham drop the fucking octopus gimmick out of nowhere. And he's like, oh, I was blacked out. I was sleeping for 3 months. It's like, all right, you know, but I appreciate what he's doing too. I love Josh Gresham. So yeah, just hopefully tons of talent. And I have a clip of Scott D'Amore talking about his, so this is on Busted Open Radio. Shout out Bully. Shout out LaGreca, everyone involved with Busted Open, Mark Henry, Thunder Rosa, etc. Scott D'Amore discussed his final days in TNA. Says he found out what was about to happen 2 days before Hard to Kill. That promo in Vegas was basically his love letter to pro wrestling. Man, it was so passionate and it was so amazing. Like, I put it over so hard. But he said, I went to that ring thinking this might be it for me. So let's hear the man's words here the new founder of MLP.
Was it as much of a shock to you as it was for everybody else? Was it as much of a shock to you as it was for everybody else when they first heard the news?
It wasn't a total shock to me because I see all the moves behind the scenes, and we had our build up to it. And I think,
and guys, round of applause for Marie Shadow. She actually messaged me and said she had to plug her thing in, so she'll probably pop back in. But yeah, give her. It's my bad. I'm not paying attention to the private chat as much tonight, folks. I'm botchamania. But yeah, let's hear Scott D'Amore here.
So here's your scoop for your headline. I found out that what was happening with me 2 days before Hard to Kill. So actually, before we flew to Vegas, before we did that amazing culmination of the rebrand of TNA, which is something I spearheaded from tip to tail.
So right here, man, I had Chris Connor get mad at me. I had fucking these TNA inside, whatever. People were like, yo, the TNA, these TNA insiders from Anthem are saying that Scott D'Amore's spreading lies and they were responsible for the WWE relationship. And it's like, no, man, he was sending people over there before. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Obviously he was behind that shit. Like before they even had a crossover, Mickie James was there in the Impact with the Impact title as the Knockouts champion in the Rumble when Vince was there still, and I'm sure D'Amore had something to do with that. And then you look at Jordan Grace and then all of this crossover. The seeds had to have been planted before. It's not like Anthem just, we came, and Ant Evans told us on the podcast, he worked alongside Scott D'Amore when they were doing shit with AEW, and he said that, yeah, like they want to kind of take credit for it, and it was Scott, it was Scott all along. So here we go. Let's continue along.
That amazing culmination of the rebrand of TNA, which is something I spearheaded from tip to tail. I found out 2 nights before when I was about to get on a plane.
And the rebranding has sorry, I'm pausing it too much, I know, but the rebranding has everything to do with WWE crossing over with them again, because they've talked about TNA so much on their show. Like Kurt Angle's made, I hear TNA's hiring. Like they've had Dixie Carter on documentaries and shit. Like that rebranding was a big part of the play at crossing over with WWE more. 100% it was.
When I was about to get on a plane, I found out that what was kind of in the cards. But I did what professionals do. I locked that at that place in my brain and kept it there. But I went there and I did my job. But yeah, it was gutting. But I went there. We put on those shows. I wanted to put that exclamation mark on the 7 years of what I did, which led to that promo. I went to that ring, going, this is my love letter, professional wrestling. And at that time saying, this might be it for me. Like I might walk out of Florida in another week and, just off into the sunset because I just didn't know. I'm very proud of the work we did there. And I know Len would always get mad when we or anybody would reference, Impact being a dead brand when we got there. And it wasn't a dead brand when we got there. Impact Wrestling was deader than dead. It was an insult to dead brands. In 2017 to just call Impact dead. And that was something that I think is in some ways unprecedented. It's like Robert Evans and I talked about when in the history of wrestling has a company ever been that low and then came back from it?
See, that's what I think, Tony Khan. Now that's what you have to pull for AEW. They got to hit that rock bottom and then bounce back from it. You know what I mean? Otherwise, what else can they do? They can't compete with WWE right now in any other way, even though he keeps saying challenger brand, etc. So Bobby Lashley, though, we're talking about WWE stuff. Well, we were talking indies here. I'll save Bobby for a second. So the world tag champions Finn and JD McDonough are going to do OTT's 10-year anniversary show on October 26th. So even Finn, so I know Chris Connor's like, where'd all these guys go? Well, Finn and JD are working in indie. Fuck. Like Shayna Baszler's routinely doing blood sports. Like everything's going to be cool, man. They're going to know where to put
get us to where we are today. But soon they will meet their judgment day.
That's awesome.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Over like Rover, and like WWE's doing that, man. We're just in a different time. Sign the Tonga Twins, bro. Keep them in reality of wrestling for like 6 months, and then put them on NXT for 6 months, and then maybe you have something, maybe you don't. That's all I'm saying. So Bobby Lashley, though, he's officially a free agent as of today. So I don't know. I pray to God that the Hurt Business reunite in TNA. I think that would be perfect. And Cedric, hey, I'm not saying leave WWE, but if you can get a big bag and get your release from WWE maybe, and they let you go to fucking wherever with the rest of those guys too, do that. Like honestly, if that's what you do for your livelihood, and maybe you get over, maybe you guys can do the Hurt Business, but Hurt Business worldwide, and take it to Japan and take it to all these places and just make that money. As I don't fucking know, but I'm not like, I love the Hurt Business as a faction, but they got everybody except for Cedric, and I think it'd be fucked to leave him out of it. I don't know how long he signed to WWE, but I think it would be cheesy in AEW. I just like, don't go do it there, man. It will just not. Tony won't know what to do with it whatsoever. So I don't know. I wish everything the best for MVP, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin. Clearly, the motherfuckers are going to reunite, though. Like, there's no way they don't. There's just going to be money in it. Maybe they're the ones who show up in TNA and fucking wipe out. What the fuck are they called? The System. Like Moose's faction. Maybe that happened. I don't know. Who knows? Do you know? I don't know. But he talks about his connection with Vince. He goes, I had a connection with Vince. Vince understood me. Vince was big on like the show. He looked at people that were stars and he saw that in me. Vince just looked at me. He was like, I can tell Bobby works his ass off. I can send him anywhere around the country to represent the company and the brand. Fucking super true, dude. He just looked at me like a star. I haven't really had too much of a connection with Hunter. And here's the problem. Fucking Triple H wrestled like in the era of Lashley. Like he was a wrestler then. So I feel like some of these guys, and I said this about MVP, and people can have their own theories. People can have their own opinions. My opinion is this is just people. Now, Cena's Cena, so you can't really do that with him. But just people in general, like who's really around that Triple H was really wrestling and putting over and was like a Vince looked at, like you said, a big star. Like that was always Triple H and Shawn Michaels and shit. So like who did Triple H really wrestle other than dudes that were bona fide? Because I love Lashley, but he's never been at like a Brock Lesnar level or a Cena level or like the Rock level, to where, yes, is that competition for Triple H, but Triple H can't fuck with these guys because Triple H used to be a menace backstage. And I'm going to play a clip. Stevie Richards buried Triple H and actually talked more about this, right? So this is what I think people remember Triple H for, especially guys who worked with him back in like 06 and 07 and like 01 and in the 90s and shit. They probably remember Triple H this way and Shawn Michaels this way. And it's hard for them to come around, but I'm not putting it all on that. Like maybe Triple H just doesn't see it in Lashley, but it is such a fumble. This is a fucking fumble by WWE. They completely fumbled Lashley, in my opinion. When people go, oh, they fumbled the Bloodline versus the Hurt Business, that would have been cool to see, but to me, the Bloodline's so good. Like I'm so glad it happened the way it happened, but I will say this. They fumbled Lashley as far as not fumbled in the grand scheme of his career. They gave him his career, but for what WWE is right now and how over Lashley is, we've pointed it out before, folks. He comes out in many of my reviews, like he does that fist pump thing. He's so over. They stick him with the Street Profits. People are like, what the fuck? Okay, hopefully this works. Lashley, he's supposed to be a heel, but everyone loves him in the Street Profits so much that they're still cheering him. So they just make him a baby face again really quick. I don't know. Triple H was flipping and flopping around with this dude, putting the Hurt Business back together and maybe adding the Street Profits. That would have been a fucking phenomenal move. Some people shit on that, but it's like, nah, like you just expand the faction and MVP expands the Hurt business and shit. I'm down with all that. And I just think to have WWE as hot as it is right now, Lashley only helps things. Like, think about over on SmackDown, who does LA Knight have as like a big bad guy? Like, the title match is Santos Escobar, which I predicted. I was like, he could wrestle Santos, and I was like, oh, it's not that good though. So there's Santos and Andrade, and I love those guys, but Santos is fighting LA Knight next, and it's just sort of like we need like a challenge for LA Knight. We already seen him beat Santos and stuff, so there's no one in that mid card on SmackDown. You know what I mean? So like he could be right there. The Hurt business could be running like the mid card, threatening sort of for the title, but then you have things that I don't know that's make them fucking get their attention off of whatever. Cedric and Shelton would be a great addition to the tag division right now. We're talking about the tag wrestling and expanding that. And tag wrestling's dope, man. I fucking like it. So, you know, I like tags and singles, 3-ways and 4-ways in the ring. It's a little, it can be iffy for me. So when they pull it off well, I always give it bonus points. But yeah, I'm just a straight up old school. So I say more tag wrestling, and I don't know, Hurt business would do good. But Lashley, I feel like to not have him be like a looming threat for LA Knight right now or something, that's crazy to me. That's a fumble. So I'll call it that, and it might trigger some people, but it is what it is. And anyways, though, I think Triple H didn't or has some of these guys he worked with, MVP, Lashley, I'm sure some other people like Edge. Like, how good do you think he'd be booking Edge if Edge was still there? Does he look at Edge like he looks at an Orton or Cena? Probably not, man. And you know, DX had battles with Rated RKO and stuff like that, I believe. So all I'm saying is we have a story here from Stevie Richards, and we need to listen to this because this will add some context, because I'm not saying this is everybody. I'm not applying this to Lashley, but this is how I'm sure a lot of people feel who don't speak up because he is the boss now. And Richards explains it. I will share this tab instead here, and he explains it here.
That was one of the crappiest things that I ever witnessed. And
this is what Triple H would do. Even this is in when Chris Masters came back. Right. So this is like what, 07, 08 or whatever. This is literally, if you go back to my MVP talk, I was like, weren't they on the roster around like 08? Maybe there's some heat from that too. I think they were on SmackDown together or something, you know, and I totally believe it because Triple H and HBK were running shit then too. And they were super kicking guys and sending them in packages to OVW. And like, I don't know, that they did crazy shit. And here's a crazy story about Triple H. And I'm sure a bunch of people have memories like this. And this is probably why Triple H and Lashley don't get along. I'm sure there was some of this backstage at the time, and same with MVP, you know?
Spoke out. And I think you're a piece of crap for saying stuff like that. One of my initial shoot interviews that I've ever done was me really blasting Triple H about that condescending, petty sense of humor that he has, especially dressing down a talent and literally saying you did steroids and now you're off the gas. People could say that's not what he meant. Chris says, I didn't take too much offense to it, but this is a dude that had a legitimate problem and came back, you know, and to do that, and you do it to a guy. I would love to see Triple H do that to Brock Lesnar or Batista. Say something like that to them live on TV or in a pre-recorded segment. Yeah, that's what I'm saying before. Like, everybody talks about Triple H and this big love fest about he's the father figure, and even Shawn to a degree. Those are the guys I know, and those are the guys that personality does creep up from time to time. That has not completely left that guy. Why would you do?
So there you go. I mean, it creeps up. It hasn't entirely left Triple H. I'm willing to believe that. But also, I do think Triple H has changed a lot. But not everything's going to always be perfect. Like, it's not always going to be peaches and cream in WWE. There's going to be times where we go, oh, they're fumbling this or they're fucking that up or whatever. And you got to call it out. And so I will call it out. I think Lashley, to let him go's fucked. But also imagine Lashley and them leave and go boost TNA when TNA is starting to catch fire again. That's what I'm being optimistic. Like, dude, we can make something happen. I'm being like, don't go to AEW. Those are going to fuck it up. But anyways, here, we're going to listen to this because Stevie provides great insight.
Do that. What's the point of that? And by the way, DX were baby faces in that promo. What good does that do? That was one of the crappiest things. I'm going to try not to curse because I felt like doing an F-bomb. That was one of the crappiest things that I ever witnessed, and I spoke out. And I think you're a piece of crap for saying stuff like that. And to this day, I'm not gonna waver from my viewpoint, my accurate, educated viewpoint, that's the dude that other talent had to deal with, especially when you're supposedly one of the boys, but you're really in power because you're married to the boss's daughter.
Oh shit. He goes hard on him.
So if he was anybody in the locker room and said that on TV, Chris would be in his face. Somebody else would have knocked him out or broke his big nose, and that would have been the end of it.
At the time, did you feel like it was, as far as either steroids go or the testing go, was it one rule for the undercard and one rule for the main events?
1,000,000%. Your value as a human being is determined by your push and how you draw money at the time. And for being a fake subjective business, they can put anybody in the.
That's society, bro. I'm sorry, but like that's everything. Look at celebrities and shit, that's what it's all about. Like, how many fucking likes do you get? And then that determines where you are in the pecking order of things. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's fucked. But if your star quarterback's throwing fucking Hail Marys and winning games, and he's sleeping during the practice, or he's sleeping during tape study or whatever, there's the infamous stories. I get it. There's some leniency there, but as far as the drug testing, yeah. And because Stevie wouldn't do drugs, he got drug tested more so that WWE can be like, oh yeah, our efficiency of like non-drug testing, like tests coming back clean are high, but obviously like they're not testing Triple H and Batista and shit. He dives more into it, but we all knew this back in the day. Obviously this is a totally new landscape, and like, well, I don't know, people aren't getting come on, there's people doing shit, but I don't know. Stevie, well, he'll break it down right here. He'll tell you.
No spots. NXT is kind of an example that they can just plug in anybody. It's just a company, but
I disagree with that. They tried to plug in Ethan Page, and I don't think it's as hot as Trick. I think given the title to Page was good, but I think Trick's got to win that fucking thing back. Toot sweet.
Then obvious people had more political leeway to do more things of what they want. And Randy Orton has spoken about how he's trashing hotel rooms, and Cody talked about ripping urinals out. If that was anybody who wasn't figured in to be a part of the long-term plans, and Randy has earned his spot over and over again and drawn money and definitely matured since then. So I'm all for people getting second and third chances, but just make it a little bit more objective across the board. Don't that creates kind of a toxic atmosphere in the locker room. But here's the thing. It's always going to be that way. It's never going to change. Kind of like the jobber term in last week's episode. That's never going to change. That's a part of the, okay, what do I now tell you this right here? I said straight to Johnny Ace one time during the end of my time that I didn't know was towards the end. They were drug testing me. And I turned to Johnny and I said, if you guys are planning to get rid of me, if you're planning to release me, just release me. Do not use.
Yeah, chat. We're all jobbers. Jobbers in the chat.
The crutch that I failed the drug test because I don't have anything like as far as to be anywhere near, how should I say, I can't take pride that, with my spot on the card, I can't really be proud of the fact that I'm not living up to my potential that I feel like I'm able to accomplish. But if you guys even dare say I failed an effing drug test, I will sue this company, because that's the one last thing, ethics, values, what I have to hang on and look at myself as a man in the mirror. If you try to falsely take that away from me, I'll sue this effing company, and I don't care if I lose every dime.
Damn, Stevie went off, man. Stevie went off. Chat, what do you guys think about that? I don't know. I think things change. Just like he said, too. This was back then, too. You know, he's like, this is how it was then. So he's obviously not saying like now, but obviously he is saying that remnants of that, I'm sure, still exist. And I'm not saying Bobby Lashley feels this way, folks. I'm just saying MVP's but definitely vocal about him being against Triple H, so people might feel a type of way, and I think it stems from back when they were burying fucking people trying to keep them their spot and shit back in the old guard in the old day, you know. So last tidbit, and then we're gonna play some flutes in the chat. WWE is planning to host a PLE in Italy next year, and then we got a Giovanni Vinci on SmackDown promo, so timely, convenient. Okay, guys, are you guys ready? And thank you all so much for hanging out with me tonight, and thank you all so much for you know what I'm saying, hitting that like button and all of that. We had like hundreds of you in here tonight, and we're well above 100 likes, so I appreciate you all. Round of applause for you all. Flutes in the chat. Because it is time for, as I grab my water, need to hydrate. It is time for everybody's favorite segment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week. Now, some of this stems from a while back, you know? Like, Dave's been doing the damn thing, holding L's lately. I don't have a shit ton of them. Some of them he may be accurate on, but it's just a lot of speculation. And hey, that's what we like to talk about and laugh at. That's what typically we all tune in for. So, sorry, as I pull this up. Okay. Bronson Reed's attack on Seth Rollins was done to write him off TV due to injury. So this was sort of like with Chris Connor's argument with the Jacob Fatu thing. He's like, they announced it as an injury. And I'm like, yeah, the two they announced, Logan Paul and Jacob Fatu. And then the two they didn't announce and make a big deal out of is Dakota Kai and Seth Rollins. They're trying to bury these ones. Now, it seems as though Dakota Kai and Seth Rollins are both legit hurt. And you know, Jacob and Logan aren't. It's what makes sense to me. I don't know. Anyways, though, Bronson Reed's attack was to write off Rollins. So Dave says, I asked if those were storyline covers for injuries, and I don't actually know who's saying this. It just says Wrestling Observer Radio. It might not even be Dave. I asked if those were storyline covers for injuries, and I was told they both were. Seth is not a bad situation. Seth is cleared. He could wrestle, but he's banged up, so it was a good time for him to take time off and do this. I don't know if he'll be back for the pay-per-view against Bronson Reed. Yeah, that's some Dave shit. No. Yeah, hopefully he's back. They're trying to say he has cracked ribs. I'm okay with it. I'm not yeah, dude, look at all these goddamn flutes. You guys are the best. I'm not was the breakdancing at the I don't know. I don't pay attention to that shit, dude. But yeah, so I was asked if these storylines cover for injuries, and I was told they both were. So yeah, some of them are covering. They're working us. The ones WWE tells us about are the fake ones, and the ones that they don't tell us about are the real ones. I'm fucking telling you. That's why Cole announced Jacob and all of that. But how about Bronson Reed? They put him over, made him look like $1 million. Seth, he's right there in the main picture now. Seth Rollins and Dakota Kai are reportedly both dealing with legit injuries. I don't know how serious, but I asked if those angles. Oh yeah, so this was him, but Seth is not a bad situation. Seth is cleared to wrestle, but except he's actually but he's banged up. So it was, a good time for him to take time off. I don't know if he'll be back for the pay-per-view against Bronson Reed. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not going to shit on him for that, but I believe it, I do believe that actually. So Dave's not that dumb. Here's Neckbeards with a post. And Dave Meltzer has compared the G1 Climax match between El Phantasmo and AEW's Konosuke Takeshita to WWE SummerSlam. What? You what?
You what?
Dave Meltzer continues to say it was something fierce. He realizes he overrates WWE something fierce. So Kurt Angle's actually 2-star matches and is actually so Dave goes, I'll tell you when I watched the match, like they're just on a different level. It was like when I was thinking about how good Monday's show Raw was, and it was a good Angle show. Now this is his new term, rest hold. Angle show. And some of the matches were good, and some of the matches at SummerSlam was good. And then I watched that match, and it's like, man, I overrate WWE something fierce. Because compared to this, they're not even the same thing. These guys were so incredible.
You fucking mark!
Jesus. I don't know. This is some weird, creepy, like bug crawled up in his brain or some shit. Yeah, I love both these guys too. LP's sweet. Konosuke's awesome. I don't know what the fuck Dave's smoking, man. I mean, I'm not like, yeah, I'm sure their match, like with the moves and everything athletically was like way better in that aspect than like any Raw match, maybe, and I get it. So you like that shit a lot, but don't start saying you overrate WWE something fierce when you're given like 4-star matches. We're going to go over his star ratings. So Dave being a fucking dummy. And yeah, speaking of his ratings, here is his star ratings for SummerSlam and Collision. Like, we're going to compare these. So he says, I overrate WWE something fierce. And it's like, okay, so I guess which wrestlers have had good matches lately, so they're all way below what you actually think, or what? We don't know what you're saying, Dave.
Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
So Dave Meltzer's SummerSlam star ratings: Liv Morgan and Rhea 3.5. I mean, I don't know. I don't care what his star ratings are. My rating on it, sure, a three. I'll give it like a 3.5. Yeah, maybe like a 3.5. Yeah, let's stick with that. That's a good rating. Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker, 2.5. I just think that stage is so hot. You got to bump it. And like the story was decent. Maybe that's like a 0.5-star story, maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to start breaking down star ratings, but okay. He gives Paul and LA Knight a 4 stars. Pretty fucking I don't know if I'd even give it that, to be honest. Bailey, but we know Dave's 5 stars really means 7 stars or whatever, because who knows what maybe 8. Maybe when Kenny comes back it'll be an 8. Bailey versus Nia Jax got 2.5. Okay, I'm thinking back, whatever. Punk and Drew 3. Dave's just fucking mad at Punk, dude.
Emotional damage.
Dave's just mad at Punk. That's all that is. That match was brilliant storytelling. Priest versus Gunther. And then David go, well, they didn't do anything. Well, what didn't they do, though? They told a brilliant fucking story with great visuals, great selling. But so they didn't do anything means moves. Well, no, I don't just judge on moves. That's what the defense will be. But that's what you always got to take it to, chat. I'm teaching you, okay? This is when these people go there, you just bring it back to like, no, you like moves. Well, no, it's not just that. Well, then how? Okay. They're telling these great, compelling stories, right? So then what is it that's missing, the component? You just don't like that they didn't do a bunch of crazy moves then? And they can never refute that shit. They can't compute it, because that's what it boils down to. It just boils down to like, okay, if you like move porn, YouTube, just say that, right? Which is fine. Hey, that's your thing. But don't try and say like that is on the same level of like a Bloodline story or like a fucking Punk, Drew, all the shit they've been doing. Like, it doesn't beat that. And then every scientific physically measurable metric prove that, but anyways, Damian Priest versus Gunther 4.25. Nice. And then Rhodes versus Sikoa 4. Damn, I didn't think he'd give it that many stars, so shout out Dave, I guess, for a couple of those. Really glad, Chris, for 199 says, I'm really glad I found your channel, bro. Keep cooking. Thanks, bruv. Let me give you a I appreciate you, Chris. I'm really glad you found my channel too, and I'm gonna keep cooking, bro. It's what I do. So thank you so much for the super chat. And a new member, Mike. Oh, I'm gonna fuck this one up. Mike Sosceles. Let's go. Thank you so much. And yeah, guys, I should plug memberships. They're fucking 99 cents. You know, go down. You support the channel. Keep doing more and more shows. And yeah, I've been rocking with you 3 hours. I did 6 hours the other, like, I don't cut them short. You know what I mean? And no one breaks this shit down, puts it together. I swear, the way I do. I must say, I must applaud myself. But anyways, though, Dave rates it rather high. Now, I swear this is like a fucking psyop, right? Because Dave's sitting here going, boy, I really do rate WWE high. And it's like, you really don't. But then you look at this and you're like, man, he kind of rated this a little high, maybe, at least for Dave's standards is the thing. But it was one of the greatest SummerSlams of all time, in my opinion. Some people argue that. Hey, to each their own. So here's his rating, though, for this week's G1 Climax. Takeshita LP, 5 stars. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Gabe Kidd, 4.5 3/4 stars. Goto versus Finley, 4 3/4 stars. Shingo versus Sonata, 4. This was the greatest event ever. The most
Liar!
Oh my god.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
Oh my god, dude. I love it. Takeshita versus Goto, 4.5. Takeshita Hanare, 4.5. So he did double duty, dude. Shingo or unless there's 2 Takeshitas. Shingo versus SZJ. Yeah, so double duty. 4.5. MJF versus Fletcher, 4.5. This is on AEW. Danielson versus Jarrett, 4.5. OC and FTR versus Roddy, Roosh, and Mortis, 4.5. CMLL. Pac Romero versus Dorado and Volador, 4 3/4. MJF versus Templario, 4 1/4. Just, and like, what does he give these quarters out for? That's what's so funny about Dave. Like, Dave, what are the quarters for? Like, I can at least break it down. Like, I dox points for certain things. This motherfucker, this shit is so funny to me, man. I get such douche cringe chills. You know that feeling? But like, I feed off that. I swear to God, because it just, I got the biggest shit eating grin. This makes me laugh so hard. $14.99, please. Yeah, from fucking Neckbeards. That's fucking hilarious, man. And yeah, I'm trying to just wrap my head around like him saying, oh, I really like, so you give nothing to the stage, like you give nothing to it being for the WWE world title and Cody being fucking, Dave admitted it. He's John Cena. He's hit the John Cena numbers and shit. So Dave can't give like bonus points for that. I don't know, you know, that doesn't factor into your star rating. And then he goes, no, I've given matches I don't really like high star ratings. Why? Because the moves, they did cool moves, or because like it was super over, you know? I just don't get it. He makes no sense. So fuck his star ratings. Absolutely. That's hilarious. We're going to keep those over there. So yeah, this is the Uganda stuff. We're going to talk about that tomorrow on the podcast. But Dave Meltzer, I got a couple more. Oh, yeah. So Dave believes he overrates WWE matches. And then I got tagged in this here. Dave Meltzer is responding to something in regards to the Olympics, because everyone's like, Dave, you're fucking coping. You're lying about Raw and the Olympics.
Emotional
Liar! Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
You're flip-flopping, putting a spin. That's what he always does. Disco clowns the quarter star things with his point. What are number? Yeah, exactly. So Meltzer says, I got a question for all the Big Brother fans. You what? What is he talking about? When the show went from 0.46 to 0.27 due to the Olympics, did fans of the other reality show whose number also dropped significantly start screaming at the Big Brother fans if they mentioned the Olympics as the reason for the drop? Which everyone in TV expected would happen going in.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
Shut up, bitch.
Dude. Like, what am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? I'm just going to cuss. Dave, this is fucking stupid. This is just stupid, okay? Everyone in TV. Okay, yes, the Olympics, sports affect TV ratings. It's always the highest rated shit on cable. We covered it on this. Chris Connor was talking about it earlier. Covered it ad nauseum already. Everybody has. Beat it to death, okay, Dave? The thing is there's no other fucking the fan of the other reality show. Name the reality show. First off, name it.
Dummy. Yeah.
Like, you know, what else was on? What are you talking about? Two completely different things. Yes, the Big Brother was affected by the Olympics. So was Raw. Raw was on fucking Sci-Fi, for Christ's sakes. But Dave, it's just your embellishment of the truth, or you're lying by omission, right? Which is still, if you embellish the truth or you omit things to paint a narrative, that is lying by omission. Those are still technically lying, and you're fucking lying.
Liar!
When you go, oh, AEW is really good or at least you're just being disingenuous. At least you're being a fucking scumbag. Because what you're doing is you're omitting certain details. Like with AEW, you're like, oh, they're up and they actually did good numbers compared to if they weren't at the right time. And if they moved to this time, it would actually be a good number, but the number wasn't that good. But I'm just telling you why it still should be considered good. That's literally what you did. We covered it on the show. You can go back and hear me babble about it. But then with WWE, and we covered it earlier tonight with Raj Giri going at him on that ass. No diddy. Raj says, okay, dude, you're not bringing up the Raw shit. I brought it up to everybody, pointed it out. Why aren't you bringing up the Raw shit? And all Dave can do is cope and seethe and go, got a question for all the Big Brother fans? Oh, 0 to the 0.46 to 0.27. What kind of games are we playing? What are the number one overall shit? Raw was beat the Olympics on the USA in the key demo. You didn't say anything about that, dude.
Nope.
And people are just tired of it. And that's why you raise the prices. That's why you're emailing old people who unsubscribed that you still have their email saved. And you fucking emailed them all and said, hey, come back. You get Dave's UFC breakdowns. Who the fuck wants to hear Dave's UFC breakdown?
You fucking mark!
Oh my God, dude. It's just the end times. I truly feel that way. Like, as far as what, Phil? As far as like the great awakening in pro wrestling, either like everyone's going to wake the fuck up or it's just going to like progressively get worse. I don't know. Dave's like hanging on by a thread, and like even his message board people are going at him, which we covered. So I don't know. I got a question for you, Dave. What you going to do when PWT comes after you, and how you going to react when the flutes come on the attack? That was Dave Meltzer's dumb moment of the week. Folks, I want to thank you all for tuning in to tonight's live show. You know I love you so much. I appreciate you all for being here. I went 3 hours 15, you know. That's a long ass time. I went 6 hours last live show, and I love doing this more than anything in the world. So make sure you hit that like, make sure you hit that subscribe. Please and thank you. Make sure you become a member if you're not, or maybe consider gifting a membership or something. I try to keep them cheap because the members only streams are sporadic, but I am trying to do more and more of that. And I want to bring you guys gaming content. So I've been just sort of figuring out Twitch and stuff. I don't know if a lot of you are into that, but I just want to keep doing this more and more and more and more. And the more of you who keep subscribing and everything, and the more you guys who watch my videos, yeah, the more I can do that. And I just appreciate you all so much for hanging out with me. It's a beautiful Saturday night. You guys are here with me, so I can't thank you enough. And Wednesday, we're going to do this all again, guys. The next PLE lineups, I don't know what's going on, but I want to do them all. So let's do fucking, I know TNA's got one coming up. AEW's got All In. We're going to do that. It might be the final countdown. It might be the fucking last show I do of AEW. No, I'll always cover it. But and then I'm gonna do of course Bash in Berlin and all that shit. So make sure you tune in and make sure you check out the clips and all these breakdowns I'm doing at Pro Wrestle Times podcast, at Pro Wrestle Clips on YouTube. You guys already know that. Acknowledge me. Acknowledge you guys. That's for you guys. And yeah, flutes always rise to the top. Flutes in the chat everywhere. Love you all. I guess I gotta deliver the new outro. Is this the new outro? It officially is, but I can't. Here's the problem. StreamYard is doesn't let me fucking. I gotta configure some stuff. I'm not a tech guy, but anyways, thank you all for being here with me. I bid you all adieu, and I will see you in the Upside Down.
I look and see it's not just me.
Jeff, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV?
I look and see it's not just me.
This place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown. I quit.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild.
No. It doesn't make logical sense. But it makes
yes, of course.
But it makes wrestling booking sense. Of course, this makes no sense. Of course, okay, it makes no sense. However, in pro wrestling booking, which often makes no sense, it would do that. It's about making money. It's not about anything else. Wrestling's always been about making money first and foremost. That's it.
Yes, I look and see it's not just me.
Last weekend was the greatest weekend in AEW history. This is the greatest week.
I look and see it's not just me.
Security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Living and wild. Yeah.
If you're familiar with how we do things often here on these Wednesdays, it's a lot like one of my favorite movies, Time Cop.
What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
God damn it.